Welcome to Ultimate Autographs. If you're looking for the internet's most exciting and interactive live break room, you've come to the right place.
We're opening live break mystery boxes featuring the biggest names from across the sports world every single day.
If you're new to breaking with us, keep watching and we'll show you exactly how it all works.
First, head over to the live break page and look for a series that you want to play. Most of our series will have 8 spots representing the 8 NFL divisions.
But other sports breaks or mixers may vary. If you purchase one spot, you have a 1 in 8 chance to win memorabilia at an awesome value. Next, click Add to Cart to purchase your live break spot. Once you've completed your checkout,
tune in to the next available Live Breaks broadcast on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube at 9 a.m., noon, 3 p.m., or 6 p.m. Central Time any day of the week.
As you watch, you'll see your name appear on the screen when your break begins. Your name will go into the randomizer and the order will be randomized a specific amount of times based on that show's dice roll number.
After randomization, the list of names of people who bought spots in that live break will be matched up with an NFL division. If the item that's pulled from the mystery box matches your division, congratulations! You just won an incredible piece of signed memorabilia at a fraction of the cost. Want to guarantee yourself an item instead of testing your luck? Check out the mystery box tab of our website for a variety of mystery box options. When you buy a mystery box, we'll ship it straight to your door, and some can be opened on air at your request. While you're there, make sure to sign up for our Signature Club Rewards program. This exclusive club earns you points towards specific discounts, signed items, and prizes each and every time you buy at ultimateautographs.com. The moment you've been waiting for has come. Let's break some signed memorabilia.
Happy Saturday, everybody. Welcome into the Ultimate Autographs live break room, coming to you live from a little-known suburb outside of the Chicagoland area, also known as Burr Ridge, Illinois. Well, by us, it's certainly not burring or chilly in any way, shape, or form here today, because the break room itself has heated up the local temperatures around here, thanks to the generosity of all you folks this morning. You absolutely killed it with the 11 breaks that we started off our 9 a.m. show. Rob and Chinmay with a little bit of a Saturday swap in the seats for you folks on this wonderful Saturday afternoon. How's everybody doing? Hopefully you guys are enjoying your Saturday, and I know it's only going to get better from here, guys. Just want to start out the program by saying, if you haven't done so already, please make sure to drop a like on today's episode, and also make sure to share it out as well. We have our ad contest and our Refer a Friend program that we have at the start of every single month. Obviously, we're a little bit more than halfway through the month of May currently, but for our Refer a Friend program, guys, it's an absolutely spectacular offer to not only get yourself some UA store credit, but also to bring some people into the room. I know Orion and Brittany Gress were 2 new customers that played in our morning show. Hopefully Orion ended up using our Refer a Friend, which gets $50 back in his pocket, $50 in whoever that person refers on their first order of $100 or more. We have a Reggie Wayne Game Day Authentic that we are giving away at the end of May. And you could also put some more UA store credit in your pocket, Chinmay, by sending something into the ad contest program that we have here at Ultimate Autographs. If you have won some UA merch, which hopefully many of you do by the end of the program today, send it to marketing@ultimateautographs.com. The top 3 submissions at the end of the month will be getting either 50, 100, or 250. Whoever said finishing last is for losers. For me, third place is A-okay with me. $50 in UA store credit can go a long, long way here in that break room. So, with all that being said, we got a whole lot to talk about today, my friend. We got to update the our Chase wheel spin, the dice roll as well from the morning show. We'll get to that in just a little bit, but I got to catch up with my producer to my left, who is the host this morning. How was your break, my man?
Good break. Got some fuel in me for this noon show.
There you go.
I have plenty of fuel already on the table with that Jamar Chase custom speed flex. It doesn't get much better than that. But excited to keep the party rolling here at noon.
Yeah, it doesn't get much better than this beautiful Jamar Chase custom, but I wish I could say this is the best of the best. It certainly is now. We have a ton of different series to get into it with you guys. Jerseys, practice squad, diamonds, cash or stash, boom or bucks, and then we have the Weekend Warrior, of course, the exclusive weekend series that we have here at UA, And of course, we got a mystery for you guys to solve. So put on your Sherlock Holmes and Watson caps out there, because we got the Crack the Code series with a very, very special series prize, which I'll talk about in just a few moments. So we do have a pre-fill to get into. We do have a jersey single to talk about that is going to be challenge flag number 6. But we can't get into that yet for our guys, Tim, Steven, and Richard, because every single show needs a dice roll and a chase wheel spin to start things off. So for that dice roll, for those that are unfamiliar, this is going to determine, Chinmay, of course, how many times you folks get spun around in our name randomizer. Wherever you end up landing in the name randomizer determines what division you are placed in. So with that being said, Chinmay spun around, got himself a 9 this morning. 9's been your number this year, man.
It was 8. It was 8 this morning.
Oh, it was 8 this morning.
Yeah, it was 8 this morning.
It was 8 this morning.
I think I had to redo the dice, so when I ended up,
So
when I came back to the dice page, it was on 9.
So you say maybe it's manifesting itself for you to
is,
land on a 9 for
this
show.
I'm picking 9.
So you are going to pick 9.
Yeah, I'm picking 9.
I'll go to 12. I'll go to Colston, Montgomery. I had a very in Chicagoland area baseball. There was a very heated discussion for some popular airwaves. I'm sure you saw it, possibly with Jonathan Hood, David Kaplan, and company debating Dansby Swanson and Colston Montgomery. I got to rock my Southside shortstop, so let's get number 12. Number 11. It's okay. We'll go with the Louis Aparicio number. I'm more than okay with that to get my day started. So that's going to be number 11 right there. Now, the chase wheel spin. Now, for those that have been around long enough, and hopefully for these past 8 months, you've been around to see me host on the program. I very rarely ever use the actual chase because I like to get a good read and vibe of the room to give you folks an opportunity to not only chase the best merchandise in the room, but for you to get the best bang for your buck value. So with that being said, of course, we got to go with the Weekend Warrior and the boom or bust. Not the boom or bust. We're not talking about Anthony Richardson. We're talking about boom or bust. Because regardless, guys, in that series, if you do not land a photo headliner, secondary headliners,
you get some credit as well.
$100 automatically shipped to your account. You get the item, you get the bucks. You have yourself a damn good start to your Saturday. Tetaroa McMillan and Walt Clyde Frazier, Clyde the Glide, is going to be in that bad boy right there. Amongst a lot of other hidden gems, so we'll get to talking about that. But of course,
before we do our pre-fill, I want to note very quickly, we are 1 to go in the Boomer Bucks double box. So we could unlock that chase wheel spin right away with just 1 spot bought into in that double. And we are 5 to go in that Boomer Bucks quad box.
Okay.
And this is the break where that Jamar came out of. And there's still 2 more custom speed flexes with Justin Jefferson and Drew Brees.
Now, I know many of you out there probably looking at this Jamar Chase speed flex and say, well, there's something a little different about this. And it is. This is a custom retro speed flex. For those that haven't seen the retro lids, they are all the rage right now in the memorabilia community, obviously centered around the NFL. We've been getting a plethora of retro helmets over the last couple of weeks, Chinmay. And this one, certainly one of the best ones that we have seen. Woo. So hopefully we can get something that is right up there with that in an upcoming double right around the corner. But we've got some gentlemen that have been waiting on this jersey single, so I'm going to need 1 number for the jersey single number 6. I typed this very fast. I'm sure I misspelled something. Look at that. Spotless. I'm sure my, I was an 8th grade spelling bee champion. Okay, so I'm glad that still translates over a decade later. So.
And how about... those custom speed flexes, you know, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and Drew Brees, all New Orleans connection there. All of them either played
down in
high school or pro football in and around the New Orleans area.
Yeah, very, very cool. Yeah, very good call out there, my friends. So, again, if we have any people that currently live down in the boot that are any Louisiana residents, maybe that resonates with you. And again, the thing that I like the most is I'm going to give this about another 10 to 15 seconds on the number for the jersey. Between Tim Stanford, Steven Jorilimo, and Richard Hetrick, or Hetrick, feel free to let me know how that's pronounced, who has the final 6 spots in that jersey. We have a ton of different series, Chinmay, that have a lot of different varieties with options. Douglas Goldberg, what's going on? Schoolboy Doug in the chat with us this afternoon. What's going on, my friend? I got my custom retro Jamar in the mail Friday. It is nice. It is damn nice. Well, Dougie, I'd love to see a picture of that, my friend. Make sure to send that over to Dave in customer service so he can pass that bad boy along. So
that Boomer Bucks double has closed out.
There we go.
So
Awesome
we will be doing that immediately after we do this jersey break.
Woohoo! So I didn't hear any jersey numbers, which is A-okay, guys. We'll let fate take ourselves into
Fate
this.
was good in the last show,
especially for the wheel. Yeah, I was gonna say, especially for the wheel, fate, however you want to phrase it. Harry certainly was rewarded handsomely in the quad from the last show. He had the wheel all 4 times for himself.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see where we get started off. So I didn't get my Colson Montgomery dice roll, but I'm gonna get that back on the wheel. That's 12.
Okay.
Now we don't have 12. But we do have 11 and 13, so this will be another, not necessarily a fun learning lesson, but this is going to be something you don't necessarily see every show. So this is the picker wheel for those that don't know what the picker wheel is. If we have a scenario when the wheel spins on a number that is no longer available in the series, and that number happens to be the same equidistant, the word of the day today, brought to you by Jim May. If it's equidistant from 2 separate numbers, we have to divide those numbers into 2 in the picker wheel. So 11 and 13 will be the deciding factor here, guys. And our first number of the 12 o'clock show, well, it's 12 o'clock Central Time here. And what would it be? 11 o'clock... Not Mountain Time. It's certainly not West Coast because that's 2 hours behind. Maybe. Is it Mountain Time? Yeah, okay, so it is Mountain Time. So to all my Mountaineers out there, it's going to be box 11. So thank you, my man. Appreciate it. And then going to randomize you guys 11 times. So, hey, 11-11. Make a wish. 11 on the randomizer, 11 on the box. So let's get ourselves started in a positive way. We got 17 people tuning in, Chinmay and I. Always very appreciative of you
it's
folks.
It's unfortunately not November 11th. Otherwise, we could have 11-11 on 11-11.
You know what? The next time that I have to see if November 11th falls on a Saturday to see if we can circle back around and maybe create that possibility. So we're going to have 6 Raging Richard Heatricks against 1 Steven Geronimo and 1 Tim Stanford. Let's see how this pans out.
Mm-hmm.
So Steven is on top in the NFC North. He is the king there. And Tim Stanford in that NFC West. Richard, you got all the other spots. It's going to take a long time to read. You can see it right there on the screen, my friend. So in this jersey, by the way, we walk into here with 11 headliners left. A lot of headliners, a lot of boxes to go. 40-box series, 27 remaining. And looking at this bad boy right here, interesting. I don't think this is a secondary headliner. I'll tell you this right now. And Richard, you're going to be very happy to hear, my friend, that this is an excellent hidden gem. How about a guy who is a former Defensive Player of the Year and a 2-time Super Bowl champion, one of the greatest, most underrated linebackers of all time? How about a little T-Sizzle on a Saturday afternoon? It's Terrell Suggs, the double nickel, one of the greatest Baltimore Ravens of all time. Chinmay, you got to be damn good to win Defensive Player of the Year on a defense with Ray Lewis and Ed Reed.
Yeah, you got to be pretty good. A proud graduate of Ball So Hard University.
Yes, he was.
And definitely one of the players that you do not want to see on the opposite side of the field.
How you could say that again.
That's one of the guys that, you don't want any part of Terrell Suggs. Not that you wanted any part of Ray Lewis and Ed Reed either, but you definitely don't want any part of Terrell Suggs on the football field.
Now, I've said this a few times before, speaking about Terrell, because we do get Terrell a good amount on a variety of things, mostly mini helmets and jerseys. We do sneak him in on authentics from time to time for helmets, but for Terrell, a lot of people forget the final year of his career, he spent it with 2 separate teams. He started off his 2019 season with my Arizona Cardinals, and then after the Cardinals released him halfway through, it's not that he had a bad year, he actually requested his release. Where did he end up? Actually ended up playing a decent cog in the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl run.
Yeah.
So, and he went out on top in very, very positive fashion right there. So, pretty cool way to get ourselves started off there. And I don't even have to ask Chinmay, because we did close out that double. And of course, Harry is going to put on his closer's cap once again and close out that Boomer Bucks double. Now, for those that are just filing into the break room, I just want to reiterate this. I did just mention that every non-photoed headliner, will get $100 in store credits.
Yeah.
And, of course, the item that goes along with it.
win.
So let's talk about the photoed headliners real quick. And again, guys, that ticker is down at the bottom for those jersey numbers for the Boomer Bucks. I'll let that pass through before I show you the graphic. We got 1, 2, 5, 7, 10 through 14, 16 through 22, and 26 through 30. We got Jilly Bean on the case. She's got 12 and 22, Chinmay. Thank you, Jill. Jill, a longtime player here in the break room. Good to see you back, Jill. So, of course, this is what we're playing for. Drew Brees, Montana, and Dan Marino, Max Scherzer, Evgeny Malkin, Mookie Betts. How about Jay Jettas on a custom speed flex? Somebody can win it for just $178 here. Weird Al Yankovic, come on, with the white and nerdy inscription? Well, that definitely sings to my praises. Been living that life for 26 years. Martin Brodeur on the custom hockey replica mask. Harmon Killebrew, the greatest twin there ever was. Connor Bedard and Todd Helton. Very, very nice there. So I'll randomize you folks 11 times around and then update that ticker afterwards. Thank you, Chinmay. Feel free to let us know, by the way, how you're spending your weekend. Besides, obviously, being here with Chinmay and I here at UA. Are you, maybe planning an order ahead of time for Game 7 tomorrow for our hoop heads?
Yeah.
I know Chinmay and I, we dove very deep into previewing the Western Conference Finals and who will be representing the other half of the East in the Eastern Conference Finals, which, by the way, let me say this first and foremost, it's going to be awesome. I think both series have a chance to go 7 games, regardless of who the Final Four are. So, speaking on the topic at hand, hey, you never know. This is a mixture. We could get some basketball in here as well.
We could.
We got Walt Frazier as that secondary headliner, so we'll see. All right, so Matthew Dimmitt has got that Drew Brees and Tetaroa McMillan spots at the top of the board. Harry Meyerrand. I want to say it's Meyerrand. That's what I'm going with. Harry, feel free to correct me. He's in that Jefferson and Weird Al spot.
He's saying weekends are for open houses.
I like that.
Rob has been living that life for the last few weekends.
Don't remind me. This is actually the first Saturday I'm not looking at a house in like 5 weeks. So thank you for reminding me of that. Rick, it's never ending search. Rick Pickett, Bengals, Twins, and Bruins. Now the Bengals spot was originally the Jamar Chase that is no longer occupied, but Rick, you still got that Harmon Killebrew bat in the Bruce spot. Lance Hill, my unofficial cousin, has the Detroit Lions, Dodgers, Bulls, and Warriors. So that's the Mookie Betts batting helmet. Matthew Dimmitt has the Evgeny Malkin and Walt Frazier. Tristan Yanef has there you go, Marino and Montana. That's spoken for. Todd Helton batting helmets as well. And then Jill Labovitz with the Martin Brodeur photo headliner. And then Alfredo Lisiotto has the Max Scherzer and Connor Bedard. Funko Pop right there. So
Harry sells houses. So
I sell them.
Yeah.
My dad said my rear end. My rear end. Well, Harry, if you double up here, I will forever refer you as my rear end. But I gotta watch who I say that around. Too. So
it's interesting.
Box number 12. I can already tell what item it's gonna be.
Okay.
It's gonna be of the spherical variety. And Chinmay already knows what he's going to have to grab to display this bad boy. Now, we got a secondary headliner that can qualify for this man, but is it going to be this guy? Thank you, my friend. So that's the perfect instrument of torture we're going to use to get this bad boy out here. Going to be delicate with this because there's a specific reason. It's not going to be Walt Clyde Frazier.
Okay.
I'm going to be very delicate with this man because he is a Hall of Famer. He's a former 6th Man of the Year and also the half of a 6-time championship core in the 1990s. One of the sweetest southpaw shooters in NBA history. It's Toni Kukoc. Toni Kukoc, the Croatian god, overseas coming over. The second-round selection by the Chicago Bulls, mind you. That's, of course, going to be a Chicago Bulls hit. That is going to my cousin. Couldn't have gone anywhere better. That is staying in the family. Lance is on top of the hill in this break. Awesome, awesome victory. Toni Kukoc, you guys can tell the excitement in my voice. Chinmay and I are both Bulls fans. Well, you're a Lakers fan, but we both live in a Bulls fan. But being in the Chicagoland area, he is absolutely beloved in the Chicagoland area.
Absolutely. And Tony was actually in Chicago this past week, or not last, was it last weekend?
This past, yeah, it was on Mother's Day, so it was last Sunday.
Last Sunday, Kukoc was in Chicago representing the Bulls in the NBA lottery.
Good luck, Tony.
And the Bulls jumped all the way to 4th. So, yeah, definitely some good luck from Tony Kukoc. I remember, obviously, Tony in The Last Dance. He had a bit of a cameo there at the end with Jordan and Scotty kind of bullying him a little bit. But Tony Kukoc definitely instrumental in helping the Bulls reach the finals and win the championship, those last 3 championships that they won.
Now, I misspoke. I originally said that Tony Kukoc was from Croatia, which is now the country of Croatia. But like I learned in that same Last Dance documentary, Tony came from a situation, obviously, where he was in a country divided, which was then Yugoslavia.
Yeah.
And Tony was such an interesting story. When he was originally drafted, despite his country literally being in a war-torn situation, he decided to stay overseas and play for an extra 2 years because of the monetary difference. Like a literally millions upon millions of dollar difference. And the coolest thing is, he actually decided to wear the number 7 for almost his entire NBA career because the number 7 is the most highly regarded number overseas in Europe. So really, really cool hit there for Lance.
And he also got $100 in store credit.
Thank you. $100 in store credit as well. That'll be sent your direction, Lance, because that is a hidden gem. Yep. Tony Kukoc is staying on the table. We can pump out 5 Patrick Mahomes, and that's Tony Kukoc is staying on the table.
Yeah.
So
Tony's staying.
Make no mistake about it.
Tony's staying.
You're not going to cross me over at all. It's staying right there. It's a nice signature too.
It is.
It's a very nice signature. So
those old school guys. Tony's not even that old school.
No.
But the old school guys, they know how to sign.
Well, he had an old school response to when the Bulls got that 4th overall pick. Stoic demeanor. Stoic demeanor. So box 22 coming up here. Let's see what we got. Hopefully he brings us up. I'll ask you this actually after this break here about that 4th overall pick, because I'm curious if you were Bryson Graham of the Chicago Bulls or
I wish I was
who you would
Bulls.
take at 4. So I want to ask you that in a second. So, but before we got ourselves something of the smaller variety.
Okay.
But I gotta say this, and I don't say this proudly. As many women have said to me before, sometimes the biggest things come in the smallest packages. And that could not be any more representative of the former 1st overall pick.
Let's go.
And of the Chicago Blackhawks. It's Betsy, Connor Bedard of the Chicago Blackhawks, out on the table to my Italian brethren. I'm not Italian, but I love myself some Alfredo pasta. Alfredo Lisiotto in the Chicago Blackhawks spot, getting himself a photoed headliner hit.
Very cool.
Now, I'm not going to put as much pressure on many do on Connor Bedard. Hey, look at that. An all-Chicago break, by the way.
All-Chicago break. We were due for one of those.
Yeah, right? I don't know if we've actually had that between you and I on a show. It's very rare to see that. I'm not going to go as far as, I don't know why I'm putting this back in the bag. Connor's definitely staying out. But what I mean by the pressure is whenever you're a 1st overall pick, it truly depends on the franchise, your overall talked about in status. This guy was talked about coming back in and reviving a franchise that literally just went through a decade-long dynasty.
Yeah.
And he is going to be the centerpiece and core of rebuilding the Blackhawks back to championship contention. Now, of course, that has not happened in the past 3 years for the Hawks, but he is coming off of the best season of his young NHL career.
Yeah, and he's only 20 years old.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He's going to turn 21 this summer. We talk about the responsibility that we put on athletes in general, but especially young athletes who are going into these sports now professionally at a much younger age. We talk about college kids getting NIL deals now, getting a lot of money, right? And there is a lot of responsibility being put on them. But at the same time, we have to realize that, they are just turning 21, 22 years old. And I don't know what I was doing at 21, but certainly was not playing professional hockey. Certainly was not carrying the hopes of a sports franchise. I could tell you that much. So there's a lot that he's navigating, not just on the ice, but in his life in general.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. There's a lot of responsibility that you need to have patience, and the Blackhawks are having a lot of patience with Connor Bedard and their rebuild. For some fans, maybe it's too much patience. They haven't gone out and spent to get some, free agents that have come up from time to time. But the Blackhawks have some good picks, and they do have a good core in place. So we'll see if they can make some noise this year and in the years to come with Connor Bedard as that centerpiece.
Yeah, and I think that I know that they had the number 2 overall pick last year. I think they're drafting 4th this season. So I mean, hey, you get enough lottery balls to fall your way.
You're going to get a solid player.
I mean, transitioning to a different sport, right? We were just talking about potentially the Final Four in the NBA.
Yeah.
Let's look across the board at their best players. San Antonio Spurs, Victor Wembanyama, 1st overall pick. Oklahoma City Thunder, Chet Holmgren, 2nd overall pick. Now, the New York Knicks do not apply to this equation, but if the Detroit Pistons get there, Cade Cunningham.
Number 1 pick.
First overall selection. So
I believe Harden was a top 5 pick as well.
Number 3.
Yeah, I believe Harden, yeah.
He was a 3rd overall pick, yeah. Not obviously by Cleveland.
Mobley was a number 3 pick, right?
Out of USC.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very good call there. So, again, awesome start, guys, into that double break. And, we're about half an hour into the show. And we haven't done a rundown yet. So that's how you know we're off to a good start. So
let's unlock. So we unlocked 1 wheel spin with the Boomer Bucks, right?
Yeah.
We're correct. 4 to go. We're 4 to go in that Mother's Day weekend Warrior single.
Let's get both.
So let's unlock the 2nd wheel spin when we have 4 to go in that or we have 4 more spots left in that single box. So let's unlock that 2nd wheel spin, get those 4 spots out of the way.
Now, this is all different depending on the host here at UA. Every host has their own kind of way that they like to approach the Chase Wheel Spin. I know you and I are in lockstep. Whenever we have multiple series in a Chase Wheel Spin, we like to reward them separately.
Yeah.
So, again, it's not all combined into one. The dash is in there for a reason.
Yeah.
We already got one for the Boomer Bucks, like Chinmay just said. No reason why we can't get that Mother's Day weekend warrior. What's going on, Bobby? Good to see you back with us, my friend. Yeah, that's a...
Well, that's more than 16 letters.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. That's a series that, you know what, since Bob mentioned it, let's talk about it. Let's talk about that crack the code. So, single, double, and quad spots that are left. We have 6, 6, and 6. Oh, boy. Okay, so somebody buy in and change that because I'm feeling a little spooky over here with that code combination, which, by the way, shout out to Michael Arnett yesterday. He was hilarious. He actually... leading into a 3 o'clock show, he had a 13-spot order that actually equivalated to $666.06.
Wow.
It was the craziest thing, and he typed about it in the chat when we opened up, so I thought that was really funny. But what's not funny is that we still have 13 boxes and 6 headliners left in the series. So I'm just going to read this out to you guys and let you know if you don't know how this Crack the Code series goes, because we're talking about a $2,500 giveaway that we have. This is the most that Chinmay and I, since we've been here, out of all of our experience, all the shows we've done, we have never seen a giveaway quite like this. I can see we got a break coming in right now.
We do.
Is it that Weekend Warrior single?
It is not. But it is a quad.
Oh.
It is a practice squad quad.
Wow, is it Harry again?
Harry bought out the last 6 spots, but there were already 2 in there before, so he does not have all the spots this time around.
Well, Harry's waking up his rear end over there.
He's feeling it.
He definitely,
he does not have all the spots this time.
Wait, well, I got you, Harry. We will get to that and everyone else in that practice squad in just a moment. Just want to explain the rules here for you guys of this Crack the Code. So this is what it's going to sound like. So there's 15 boxes in this series that have a sheet of paper with a random letter on it. As you can, let me see here. I was going to say, as you can see here, and you can't see. So where do we have in the, there we go. Let me get this on the chatting screen real quick if we have this for both. Is it just on the break scene that we have the
believe so.
Okay, so let me get
it's only on the break scene.
So let me get rid of the refer a friend then. Okay, perfect. So the Crack the Code is right up there. So those are the letters we have so far. So in total, it's gonna be a 16-letter phrase. There's 15 boxes in the series that have a sheet of paper with a random letter on it. We will we're gonna spot the customer as a letter R. It's a free letter at the start of the series. You folks can guess the fifth letter is revealed, not including the free spot, which is the letter R. Each spot is purchased is good for 1 guess. So you guys are not able to guess a phrase until we are actually in the midst of doing that break. So the break has to close, whether it's a single, double, or quad.
Yeah.
And then you're eligible. By the way, whoever is eligible who is bought in that break can only guess. Same way, think about it, same way as doing a box call.
Yeah, and you can't bank your guesses to use like over the course of the whole series being sold out. So you got to do it until the next break. So
Correct.
like Bob is in the chat right now. He has a guess in the Crack the Code that he hasn't used yet. But if the next Crack the Code gets bought out and he hasn't submitted a guess, his guess will run out, basically.
Absolutely.
So he has until the next break closes to get that guess.
To finalize that guess. And again, the only guesses
you
that
only
do
get the
count,
one, yeah.
You only get the one, and the people that are actually bought into that break are the only valid guesses that count. So you can guess it until the cows come home, but if you're not any of the breaks, and if you guys get excessive about it, don't make Chinmay and I put our feet down if we don't have to, okay?
And I don't know if we got to Alfredo's comment, but he said his kid will love the Bedard Funko Pop.
Sorry about that, Fredo. Yeah, I'll show it off one more time. There you go. Sorry, Tony. There you go. Show it off.
That's one that the kid will be essentially gifted with a nice memorabilia chunk of change there.
You can say that again.
If Connor Bedard pans out into what everyone thinks Connor Bedard will pan out into.
Well, I mean, not only kids, right? But I mean, Funko Pops are like such a huge craze and such a popular thing. And not just collecting culture, but pop culture, obviously, as well. So, sorry, just updating that Boomer Bucks ticker. Forgot to do that. But I am looking for now 4 numbers for that new practice squad quad. Richard, Chris, and then Harry. Harry, and again, we saw Harry in the last show. He decided to let fate take the wheel there.
Yeah.
And he got rewarded handsomely last show. What was that in again? That was
the
Jamar.
practice squad quad. That was not the Jamar.
Oh, it was not
he had the
Moss and Portis.
Yeah, he had the Santana Moss Clinton Portis double.
Correct.
The Emmitt Smith mini, and then he also had 2 hidden gems. Use check jersey. And I believe he had a...
it was the Emmitt Smith mini as well.
He had the Emmitt Smith mini, but he also had another mini. I believe he had 2 minis. I forgot what the second mini was.
Jim McMahon.
Jim McMahon.
Jim McMahon.
Yeah.
Of course. Got to keep it Chicago theme.
Yeah, use check McMahon,
That is
Portis, Moss, and then
we're 2 teams away. We have now mentioned we have had a Bear, Bull, and Blackhawk hit.
Yeah.
We are a Cub and White Sox away.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, could be possible in that Boomer Bucks series. So I'll give that about another 5 to 10 seconds, and if not, I'll do 4 times around we go. But Chris, you got the NFC South. Richard has the AFC West. Harry has every other spot, 6 out of the 8, 75% chance that he could end up sweeping this bad boy here. So let's see what we got. This is a 30-box series. So I'll start on the number 1 here. And again, Harry letting fate take it into its own hands. So we're going to start off with the steroid number, as we like to call it here at UA. The juice number of 25. Let's see if we got that. Which we do. We should.
We do have 25, yeah.
Cool. So 25 will be our first one. Box numero dos.
We don't have 2.
Okay. Oh, no. I mean, sorry. The second box. Okay. my bad, bro. Box 6, which we do not have.
We have 5.
We have 5. Okay, so 5 was already taken off the ticker on the practice squad. Yeah. So that works then. So 5. So we have 5 and 25. Okay. And then for the next one, we're going to have box number 9, which 10 should be the closest.
Yes.
Okay. So those are the first 3, and then 1 more to go. And then we will go back to the teens for this one. That's going to be box number 16.
We do not have 16, but we have 15 and 17.
Okay, so this was not updated then. Okay, so we have 15 and 17, no 16?
No 16.
Do we have 14?
We do not have 14.
Okay, yeah, so this was not updated. So, all right, that is A-okay. So 15 and 17. Hoping for Ocho Cinco. My fingers are crossed for you, Harry. So I'll go to the picker wheel for this last one on 15 and 17. 2 picker wheels in the first hour. Do not see that every day. If you're just stopping in on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, Rob and Chinmay with you guys for a Saturday afternoon practice squad quad getting ready to go underway. Box 15, Chinmay. It's 15.
So 5, 10, 15, and 25.
Wow, multiples of 5. Look at that. Multiples of 5. So 15 is off the board. Thank you, thank you. So that is all taken care of. Let's get this going. Again, fingers crossed for that Ocho Cinco, says Harry. And the practice.
See the Ocho. If we get Jamar and Ocho on the table.
Damn right. Andre Johnson, Chad Johnson, Isaac Bruce, Jim Kelly, DeMarcus Ware, Steve Smith Sr. That's who I want to see on that Eclipse Authentic. Kyron Williams and Warren Moon. Let's see what we got going on here. Again, Ocho Cinco and Steve Smith. Great AFC North double up.
Yeah.
Would
not be bad.
Starting off with box 5. Good luck, gentlemen.
Afternoon, Derek. How's it going?
What's going on, Mr. 420? Good to see you, my man.
He's excited for tomorrow.
What is he got? Oh, for Detroit, of course. Detroit
basketball.
Yeah,
Game
Derek.
7.
Yeah, what are you doing anything, Derek, for you participating in any 420 pregame rituals? Let's see what we got here. Now, I don't know if this guy ever participates in any of that before. He used to play it down at football. But one thing I do know, whatever preparation he had in his career for this guy, it led to him being an all-time franchise leader in rushing yards. How about number 28 for the Jacksonville Jaguars? Fred Taylor. Fred Taylor on an AFC South hit.
Very cool.
Hey, again, anytime that you can get an all-time franchise leader as a hidden gem, you're doing something right in this break. Shout out to Harry. Again, Harry's last squad that he played in, he swept it.
Yeah.
Now he's getting ready to bring the broom out one more time. He's off to a good start.
Fred Taylor, one of the more underrated running backs of our time growing up watching football. And the Jaguars color scheme, you can't, it's hard to beat. It's hard to beat. And I like that teal and black jersey there for Harry. Derek is saying he's planting his 420 garden tomorrow. All right. Do some planning and then watch the Pistons.
Well, Derek, as long as you're not, as long as none of the Pistons players are at your house before Game 7 tomorrow, tell them you plant that. I like their chances for Game 7 tomorrow.
Well, maybe Jalen Duren needs to.
Yeah, Jalen Duren. Yeah,
Jalen Duren could use some of that.
Smelling salts, little 420 action, anything to get him going. Because Jalen Duren, by the way, if he makes an All-NBA team, which by all accounts he is probably going to, he is up for a 5-year, $287 million max contract extension. And he ain't getting that.
One of the most fascinating staring contests of the summer that is shaping up. No matter how tomorrow goes, no matter how the series goes in general, or the postseason goes in general for the Pistons.
Yeah.
One of the most fantastic staring contests is going to be between Jalen Duren and the Detroit Pistons on what the extension will be, because there are some teams that are going to be willing to throw the number at Jalen Duren.
Did you see the crazy? I mean, you would talk about a crazy stat. Did you see the Jalen Duren drop-off stat that's been going around?
I haven't, but I can imagine it's pretty bad.
Okay. So as of right now, unless he has an explosive Game 7, and maybe if the Piston seasons continue, this can change. But up to this point, he is the all-time NBA playoff leader in points per game drop-off from his regular season average to his postseason. He has dropped over 9 points in his postseason average, passing Wilt Chamberlain, who, keep in mind, averaged 50 that regular season compared to Jalen Duren's 20 this year for the Pistons.
Yeah.
So, yeah, keep that in mind.
Not great.
Not great, Bob. Not great. Let's see who else we got here. Trying to behave and not buy out, boom, chasing Jeff and the guitar. Hey, Taylor, if you want to get in that spot, you got to buy out the breaks, my friend. Got to maximize your chances.
You got to buy into the breaks. You don't have to buy out the whole break, but you got to give yourself a shot.
Listen to me and Chinmay. We want to guide you in a good direction here. Colts all day. What's going on, Mr. McKeon? And they are free to stop by after the game. I'm always up for new autographs. So just make sure you get them authenticated there.
Yeah,
Derek. Now, speaking of Colts all day, we're not going to be taking a trip back to the AFC South. However, we will be talking about the team that the Colts defeated to bring their first ever Super Bowl championship since they relocated to the city of Indianapolis.
Ooh.
Lance Briggs, the double nickel, the second double nickel jersey we've had, both on great linebackers from Terrell Suggs to now Lance Briggs this show. So Briggsy, a 7-time Pro Bowler, Now, a lot of people call it a Batman-Robin situation between him and Brian Urlacher. Chinmay, again, you saw this guy, division rival, twice a year for over a decade with the Chicago Bears. I view it more as a Batman-Superman combo because I think Lance Briggs was that damn good.
Yeah, they were 1 and 1A for sure. And Lance Briggs, another friend of the UA family, very possible that he signed that jersey right outside these doors in the UA offices. But one of the all-time great linebackers in Chicago, continuing that tradition of great linebackers in Chicago, that Monsters of the Midway tradition. Not a guy that you wanted to see on the opposite side of the field there. Maybe got overshadowed a little bit by Brian Urlacher, but definitely a 1 and 1A situation there, not a Batman and Robin one.
Yeah, especially in that 2005 year, I believe Lance Briggs was at the very top, if not second, in total tackles the year that Brian Urlacher won Defensive Player of the Year. So, obviously the year that they attended the Super Bowl, I believe, so make no mistake about that. So, of course, got to put Briggsy away there, but very, very nice. Hey, Harry's 2 for 2.
2 for 2 so far.
He's on a 6-game winning streak. He's on a 6-break winning streak. In the quads dating back to the last show. And wow, that's interesting. That's good. That's good to hear. 1P4G. That's good to hear. Damn, that comment made me mad. Oh man, I hate that I like that comment as much as I did. Just don't continue it, please. So box number 15. So we're gonna step away from the jerseys here.
Okay.
I'll tell you that. So we got ourselves a big boy. Let's see what we got.
Okay.
Let's see who we are going to favor here. Ooh, very, very nice. Well, you know what? Saturdays are for Harry.
Okay.
Dirty Harry does the damn thing again. It's not the Ocho Cinco. It's not even the Steve Smith. But it is a photoed headliner helmet, a former 2-time sack leader, and another dominant defensive player of the 2000s. Top 10 all-time in sacks on America's team. DeMarcus Ware. On a beautiful game day authentic, great signature is number 94 inscribed on the side of the lid. Harry does the damn thing again and wins for the 7th consecutive time in this practice squad quad.
3 for 3.
Wow.
See if he can make it 4 in a row.
Why not?
Once again.
I start calling you Wendy's if you go 4 for 4.
He already got the Emmitt Smith. Now he's got the DeMarcus Ware as well. On the same lid. But the Emmitt Smith was on a mini. This is on a full-sized authentic.
Yeah, good call. The second cowboy of the day. Having a nice cowboy clutch. And of course I'm going to have this bad boy out here. Let's see what we got there. So, just in case we get something else to pass on there, I'll keep Tony by you for right now, and don't get too comfortable.
I'll practice the shot.
It's like lefty too.
Yeah.
Are you? You're not a lefty.
Yeah.
You are a lefty. Oh my
Shooting the ball, I'm a lefty.
Shooting the ball, you're a lefty.
Yeah, I throw the ball right-handed,
you're
and
one of those.
I write everything right-handed, but I shoot with my left hand and I kick with my left foot.
Interesting.
Very odd.
Yeah. Think ambidextrous.
Yeah,
Mr.
very
Ambidextrous
odd.
over here. Like Ben Simmons of Ultimate Autograph.
Well, I think I can do better than Ben Simmons.
Shooting the ball for sure. If you're clamping up like Ben Simmons, then I know what we're doing for our summer outing at Ultimate Autographs. Getting us renting out a rec gym.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be downsizing back to the a mini from what it feels like here. Mm-hmm. Let's see what we close out with. Oh, this is a beauty. This is very, very nice. Well, Wendy's, step on down. I'm gonna start calling you Biggie Bag because this is a very, very nice mini inside of this bag for you, Harry. We got ourselves a Rave mini for the freak. We got Javon Curse. Very, very nice.
That's cool.
A guy who still to this day has the Titans single season record for sacks, and he did it in his rookie season.
Yeah.
Which, by the way,
D-Roy.
coincided with their Super Bowl appearance in 1999. Mm-hmm. Everybody remembering that Music City Miracle that they went on. Their only Super Bowl appearance for the Tennessee Titans. So, very, very cool. Like that.
Quad up. Quad up.
Bust down, Quadiana. Very, very nice.
That is a very nice mini.
Oh yeah, no, I love the Raves. We don't get a whole lot of Titans for the Raves. So, Tony, sorry, buddy, gotta come back over here. You are gonna go right back in that spot, my friend. Very, very nice. So, Harry, congrats again. Not too often do we get 8-box win streaks in a particular break. So, very, very cool, my friend. That is going to be Javon Curse. Awesome stuff. Thank you, thank you. So, back into the break room. 22 people with the eyeballs on the screen. Again, can't even get through a rundown today, guys. You guys have been kicking so much butt, so that's good. We want to talk about what's on the table, not what's on the webpage. So, again, keep that fervor, keep that energy going here in the Ultimate Autographs live break room. Oh, interesting. Sorry, they're playing Shrek's 25th anniversary in theaters.
Oh, okay.
I just got I know, right? I just got a text. I'm like,
very important stuff.
I just figured out my Saturday night plans.
Yeah.
We do not have Shrek in the break, by the way.
Mike Myers could be in a break, though.
Mike Myers could be. Shaq could be, as Charles Barkley likes to call him on Inside the NBA. So let's see what we're going to start off with. I really do want to get into this Mother's Day weekend warrior. Now, guys, this is by far the most, outside of the Crack the Code, that's a potential $2,500 UA store credit. That goes a long way. That's essentially, no, it's not essentially. It is a free headliner package and $500 as well to keep on the side if you end up getting that code in that. I'm just saying, there's a lot of variety you can do with $2,500 here. But this series, Chinmay, without cracking the code, this is the best series I think that we got available right now. This Mother's Day weekend warrior. So we're halfway to a single. It's a part of the Chase wheel spin. Right next to Chinmay over there, that is one of 12 Tom Brady custom speed flexes of that kind. It's the 7th out of the 12. Now, again, like Chinmay mentioned this morning, 7 Super Bowl rings, number 12 for Tom Brady. You got the custom Mother's Day speed flex. This is, of course, dating back to last weekend for this series. 7 in the double, 7 in the quad. And we got some great helmets that are left in this series. Great headliners. Have not done a break in this so far today, shockingly.
Yeah.
And again, because this is a weekend warrior, this is only a weekend exclusive. For whatever reason, if the series does not break by the end of the 6 o'clock show tomorrow night, this will once again be back up on the webpage next Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Let's make sure not to make that happen because, Chinmay, we do have another weekend warrior waiting in the wings, waiting to drop for you guys once this one goes by the boards. TJ Watt. He is the only player in NFL history to lead the league in sacks on 3 separate occasions. Nobody else has ever done that except for TJ Watt. He is in our break room. The Wisconsinite became an adopted son of this Pennsylvania, almost said City of Brotherly Love. Definitely not the Philadelphia Eagles, but in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, part of the Pittsburgh Steelers, one of the best defensive players of all time. One of my favorite quarterbacks ever, really the only Cardinals quarterback outside of my adopted son, Kyler Murray, who gave the Cardinals any semblance of hope in the 21st century. Of course, I'm talking about Kurt Warner. The true underdog, Chinmay, I mean, quite literally the name of the movie that was created after him in Kurt Warner. From bagging groceries to tossing touchdowns in the back of the end zone. This guy could do it all on the football field. Former MVP winner, Super Bowl champion. This is on a retro Rams speed flex. Jet black visor.
Nice.
Now, if you look up quarterback passer rating, which is one of my favorite stats, doesn't mean everything. It's kind of like war in baseball. It's not all-encompassing, but it's a pretty good barometer. He is top 5 all-time in the playoffs. And he's got a lot of starts in the playoffs, keep in mind.
Okay.
And quarterback passer ratings. So, always showed up when it mattered most. Kind of like this guy. Derrick Henry, King Henry, top 10 all-time in rushing yards in NFL history on the Red-Eyed Raven, on the alternate. You guys saw this debut this past season on Thanksgiving night against the Cincinnati Bengals with these jerseys, with these helmets, I should say. Beautiful gold inscription. We talked about Fred Taylor being the all-time Jaguars franchise rushing yard leader. Derrick Henry missed out by about 100 rushing yards in Tennessee for behind Eddie George. So Derrick Henry, hey, if he somehow continues to beat Father Time, which it looks like he's already done, he can climb up the leaderboards in Ravens franchise history if he plays a couple more seasons, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, Derrick Henry is not that old. He's 32. So he's not too old. So he's probably got at least a couple more seasons in him. They did agree on an extension, I believe, the Ravens and Derrick Henry. I want to say they agreed on an extension. Yeah. So after, he signed a 2-year extension last offseason. So he's technically a free agent after this upcoming season, but he does have that extension, and I mean they probably will re-sign him barring something ridiculous happening.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And of course, bringing in oh my God, I completely forgot. Was it Clint Kubiak? No, that was the Raiders head coach. Who did they bring in?
Jesse Minter.
Jesse Minter, thank you. Who they brought in for the Ravens. So we'll see if they can get a healthy Lamar Jackson. And of course, they are on paper, maybe outside of the Buffalo Bills, the best rushing attack in the NFL on paper. So Baltimore can stay healthy all the way around. Make no mistake about it. They will be a force in the AFC once again this upcoming season. Lamar Jackson does not have something that this guy has because he's got a few of them. How about Joe Montana? Joe Montana on the custom speed flex we got it here on the video, guys. Absolutely gorgeous. We got Joe Montana on 2 separate items. We'll eventually wrap ourselves back around to see what else he's featured in here in one of our series. But this is certainly the item to go after Joe Cool. You got the retro San Francisco 49ers logo. You get all of the custom little SFs, excuse me. And how about this on the top of the lid? You get that Joe. I don't know what else is on top of the lid, but you get obviously his name, maybe something else on top of it. Beautiful custom speed flex. And honestly, this might be the first, maybe the second Joe Montana custom that I've seen get through here at Ultimate Autographs. So yeah, it is the second that I've seen. Second one that I've seen. We've already seen one custom speed flex for Jamar Chase today. How about a second for what we got here? We got the 2 colored. We got the alternate home white, and then of course the standard orange, of course, for the Cincinnati Bengals great and Jamar Chase. One of my favorite players in the league, a guy that has done signings for Ultimate Autographs, not in studio, but a guy that we've actually gone out to for multiple signings. Yeah. And he's done a lot of signings for us at UA. I can't necessarily say he's a personal friend or a religious viewer of the show. Jamar, if you're out there, what's going on, buddy? But a Triple Crown winner. He's made a Pro Bowl every single season that he has been in the NFL, and he has a chance to go down as one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah, and he's playing with a guy that he knows very well in Joe Burrow. They're great friends. They were college teammates. They had one of the all-time great runs in LSU in 2019-20 to make the championship game, win the championship. And if those two are able to stay together, they could end up being that like all-time quarterback receiver duo for yards and touchdowns. They could end up being that duo.
Well, especially in this era, right? I mean, you know, with the pass-heavy numbers, some people like to call it inflated, so on and so forth, and rightfully so. But I think you're 100% right. And there was a lot of odd speculation about Joe Burrow. Last season, he had some ominous comments. And I think part of the reason why Joe Burrow is not going to leave Cincinnati anytime soon, I think Joe Burrow has a legitimate chance to be a Cincinnati lifer. Yeah. It's because of his rapport with Jamar Chase. And wherever Joe Burrow goes, there is a very, very little chance that he can find a better number 1 wide receiver and somebody that, like I said, he has a better rapport with than Jamar. Makes his job a hell of a lot easier. So, and he's led the league in targets, by the way, the last 2 seasons. Yeah. So what does that tell you? Whether it's Burrow or Flacco, they're going to find him the ball. Rick said, I got my Joe Montana today in the mail, just like the one you showed, and it's more gorgeous in person. So Rick being our unofficial marketer.
Almost everything that you see on the page at UA always looks better in person.
Without a doubt.
Always.
Without a doubt. There's one thing I can guarantee you. I'll guarantee you guys 2 things here at Ultimate Autographs. One, we do not have scrubs signed here at Ultimate Autographs. We have a 0 scrub policy. The other thing I can guarantee, it's gorgeous. Everything's gorgeous. Every item is absolutely gorgeous that we have here, and it's better in person than it is on our webpage. But speaking of, this is how we show off our items. We got to go back to this. Roger Staubach, first quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl in Dallas Cowboys franchise history. He helped guys, speaking of a wide receiver quarterback tandem, a guy we get in the hidden gems all the time, Drew Pearson. Yeah. Those two combined for what is now known as the Hail Mary. They were credited with the first ever Hail Mary play in NFL history, and he carved out a great Hall of Fame career with the Dallas Cowboys. A guy that I love anytime we get to see here in the break room, Julio Jones. Might as well stay in the theme, right? Julio Jones, Matt Ryan, who is now back in the fold with the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
Going into his first full season coming up as leader of football operations there. Created an unbelievable rapport in the late 2000s and 2010s decade. Obviously led to a Super Bowl appearance. So I forget what happened in that Super Bowl.
I think the Falcons forgot what happened in that Super Bowl too.
Yeah, I think the state of Georgia drank that whole Super Bowl away. But Julio Jones, the only problem with Julio Jones when you look at his Pro Football Reference page is how the hell this guy did not have more touchdowns. I will never understand that because you could argue Chinmay at his best outside of Calvin Johnson in his era. He was the best one-on-one.
I mean, that was the debate,
receiver.
right? Calvin Johnson or Julio Jones? Who was the best receiver in the NFL? And you wouldn't go wrong picking either of them. But Julio, a tremendous career, tailed off at the end. Things kind of soured in Atlanta for him. But one of the all-time greats. Phenomenal player at Alabama. Phenomenal player for the Falcons. Unfortunately, just could not quite get over the line in that Super Bowl. But one of the all-time greats for sure, and should be a Hall of Famer one day.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I'm so glad you said that because there's a lot of wide receivers that we get here in the room that we vouch for all the time that should be in the Hall of Fame. Like, for example, a guy that's a photoed headliner in the practice squad, Steve Smith Sr. How the hell is he not in the Hall of Fame? I have no clue. Hines Ward, no idea. We talked about him last week.
Yeah.
Hines Ward had a Hall of Fame postseason career, let alone regular season. Torrey Holt. We got his teammate in Isaac Bruce, also a photo headliner in that same practice squad as Steve Smith. So, again, this guy for sure, I think Julio Jones is a step above those guys at his best, though.
Yeah.
So, I agree with you. Now, again, Travion Henderson and Donald Driver, great secondary headliners as well in the series. And again, guys, we have 7 entries already for this Tom Brady. Now, it's either 3 or 5. In the description, it says 10 for what we got here. But we do believe that it's going to be 5. The reason why is because whenever we have a Mahomes or a Brady giveaway, the referrals always end up the back of their jersey number. Brady being 12, Mahomes being 15. Whatever the combination is. So me and Chinmay's big brain idea is that Travion Henderson and Donald Driver, we think, might be part of those raffles.
Yeah.
But they will not include the gift card amounts, which, by the way, you do get on those hidden gem items. Please keep that in mind. Chinmay and I saw last weekend, $50 Cheesecake Factory gift card. You know, it's a little belated now, a little belated, Mother's Day gift for you guys.
Yeah.
For those that possibly want items like that, well, guess what? You probably just got them this past week.
You probably just got them, yeah.
So, but again, we got a lot of cool stuff. I saw an Amazon $100 gift card go in the series as high
There
as
was a
$100.
DoorDash one.
DoorDash,
There was an AMC one.
Nice.
We had the Outback Steakhouse one.
I saw Sephora,
Okay.
which was obviously for, mamas out there, sisters, daughters. All that stuff, great for Sephora shopping. So there's just so many great things about this series, guys. And this is what really separates us from any other break room. Well, there's a lot of things. But having series like this, that it's so much more than just the bang for your buck value for just the item itself. That goes beyond the price points here. It's the Chase Wheel Spin, how you can earn money back. It's the gift cards that you can get outside of the break room to enjoy yourself in your lavish life of luxury. On top of that, entries for Tom Brady as well. I just named you guys 3 separate ways outside of winning an item that you can benefit and earn yourself here in this break room. So, moving on throughout a couple other spots as well. We'll come back to the Boomer Bucks in a second. I'm going to talk about some of the series that are a little bit lower in box counts as of right now. And that's the cash or stash. You can double up right off rip. How about this? Puka Nacua and Kyron Williams. So for my Rams fans out there, or just fans that love offense, we actually upped the totals for this. So Puka Nacua is now worth $700 on a trade-in in this cash or stash if you do end up winning Puka Nacua and wish to trade him in for some reason. And by the way, let's look at best case scenario. Let's say that Kyron Williams, Chinmay, is $400 for a secondary. That's $1,100 if you win those guys in a double up. You can possibly, for $208, get $1,100 back in UA store credit. That's a lot of quad spots right there.
It is. It is.
I can see some orders coming in. Do we got any closeouts at all?
We have unlocked the second wheel spin because the Mother's Day single has closed out. So we have unlocked 2 wheel spins for the end of this noon show. Love to see it.
Bada bing, bada boom. Awesome stuff there, ladies and degenerates. Douglas, Schoolboy Doug said, let's close the cash or stash double and the diamond single. Dougie, after this break, I will promote the diamond single.
Diamond single is 4 to go, by the way. 4 to go on that diamond single.
Very possible. So one thing that we had going on this morning, we had a lot of action and a lot of different breaks. So we're looking to continue that theme here. And again, shout out to you guys. We are just over an hour into the bare minimum of this program. We're going to be on until at least 2 o'clock Central Standard Time. And we already got our Chase Wheel Spins covered. Again, keep adding in, guys. Keep adding in. So Chinmay's got that list ready. Thank you, my man. This is what it's going to look like. So this is only going to be a single. So one number for Mother's Day number 3. So Chinmay, with that being said, if you were able to play in this particular break, what would you like to see come out of that photoed headliner?
So we obviously have all the speed flexes still available, and we do have Jamar Chase on the custom speed flex already. I wouldn't mind seeing another Jamar Chase out here, but I think I want to see that Julio or that Joe Montana. Those are the two I think I'd want to see.
Can't blame you for that. I am with you, my friend. I want to see, I want to see that Julio Jones. Julio Jones, I just love the Falcons colors. One thing that we got Jill Abovitz calling out a box, which is not uncommon, but she's got that Mamba mentality, Chinmay. She's going with box 24. If it's not up against the wall, I think, yeah. So we're going to go, got to get you guys on the randomizer. My apologies. So 11 times around, we are going to go here. And there we go.
It was box 24, right?
Box 24. Okay. For the 5-time NBA champion and the reason why you became a Lakers fan, Kobe Bryant. Which, by the way, speaking of a little Lakers news, obviously there's the Kobe mural in downtown Los Angeles and a Kobe statue as well that was erected not too long ago. They're talking about LeBron James potentially. Jeannie Buss was, as many media people do these days, they will just barge into people when they run into them at the airport. And they bombarded Jeannie Buss by saying, is LeBron going to get a statue? And she said, can't ask me that. He's still an active player. So it's actually an interesting question I'm going to ask you about here in just a second.
Yeah, so, I mean, we have to talk about a lot of basketball stuff. You got you had me running the Bulls potentially for a second.
Oh my God, so I forgot about that. Yeah,
so I'm definitely so I would make 2 moves if I was running the Bulls. My first move would be to hire all the people that I know who enjoy basketball as much as I do, to populate that front office with the not completely like-minded people, because we got to disagree a little bit.
Yeah.
But like-minded people in terms of what we expect from our basketball franchise.
Can't all be yes men.
Can't all be They're not all yes men. That's the thing. They're not all yes men, but we expect excellence from our basketball team.
Absolutely. So I will come back to you on that. Thank you for reminding me on 2 different points. Once we get after this, but you guys have done such a great job breaking. So, what we got here, Chris Kohler in the NFC North, Jill Labovitz with the box call in the NFC South, Chris buying out the rest of the NFC with Rick Pickett in the AFC North and AFC West, and according to Rick, he said, and of other breaks, of course, Allen in the AFC West, but now when he's going for Mahomes. Fortunately, my friend, I wish I could do something about that. Michael Baldwin, and then Chris Kohler, who bought off half the spots in this break.
Yeah.
He's, Chris, if you're out there, buddy, what do you got your eye on? You're hungry for something. Are we going to get ourselves a photo headliner? Maybe a little... It's going to be weird seeing maybe a potential Mother's Day card come out here. So let's see what we got. Well, by all indications, I do not see any Mother's Day items. Yeah, we ain't getting a damn Mother's Day card with this. I'll tell you that right now. Well, we just did that rundown for the Mother's Day. And the reason why we do rundowns here at Ultimate Autographs is because we like to hype up the photoed headliners.
Yeah.
Not like this guy needs any introduction, but this guy, when you talk about running backs, a lot of people like to give him a certain name. Some people like to elevate him to king status, even. King Henry, take a bow, sire. Mr. Rick Pickett, your king has arrived. Derrick Henry, the double deuce. This certainly is not dropping a deuce in this break. Beautiful. The red-eyed Raven.
Man.
The alternate home jersey helmet right there for the Baltimore Ravens, and one of the greatest running backs in NFL history is now yours.
I mean, you talk about King Henry, and that helmet, that purple just looks like royalty. Just royalty with that purple and gold there. Derrick Henry, the guy that has gone viral with his stiff arms, sending defenders into oblivion, specifically Buffalo Bills defenders. But yeah, one of the greatest running backs I've seen in my time watching football. Not necessarily because he's the shiftiest or because he's the fastest, but a guy who will just like the willpower, the pure willpower of Derrick Henry, which is what unfortunately my Packers experienced last year.
Yeah.
A 4-touchdown performance, 200+ yards, just absolute demolition. And that saved one of my friends in our fantasy football league from getting last place.
There you go.
It was only Derrick Henry.
Yeah, there you go.
So he can make a difference in a lot of ways, and it's just pure strength, just pure power.
Well, I'm glad you said that because he's a game wrecker. He's a game demolisher. And look, it definitely helps when you got a guy like Lamar Jackson. You got a really good number one option in Zay Flowers on the outside. So, and good tight ends as well. Isaiah Likely will, and Mark Andrews no longer Isaiah Likely.
The Ravens in that game against the Packers didn't have Lamar. It was Tyler Huntley.
It was Tyler Huntley. Yeah. So even when you stack the box against this guy, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to end up being a smart plan for you. Now, so funny you mentioned Derrick Henry stiff arms because guess what he just did? He just stiff-armed Tony Kukoc to the outside of the break cam. So Derrick Henry and Rick Pickett's new best friend is now going to be in this bad boy. And I can't, Robbie Lopez is a really good Raven, so I'm not going to try doing one. I'm much more of like a Cardinal, Eagle, Falcon, bird call kind of guy. But anyways, Rick, congratulations, my friend. Round of applause to you one more time. So now, before we get back into the break room, unless there's any other breaks we got going on that we got to catch up on, because I see another order coming in.
They're not. Chris has decided to go, as Rip Camalucci calls it, only child mode. And he has decided to get in some personals. So just log in those for him.
Only child mode.
Yep,
I've been stuck on that setting for 26 years. I can never figure out how to turn the damn thing off. It'll be 27 in a couple of weeks. Jesus, I feel old. Speaking of, by the way, you know who's not old? Bryson Graham for the average age of general managers in the NBA. He's 39 years old. And, of course, it's only right because we pulled Tony Kukoc. He was there, as we talked about, representing the Chicago Bulls franchise, who, my second favorite franchise across all sports. I'm a Chicagoan through and through. Chinmay, obviously, a really big Bulls fan alongside being a Lakers fan. They've been through a lot of years of torment, a lot of asset mismanagement, and finally got some luck to bounce in their direction, right? Now, if there was ever a year for a team or teams to get draft luck, it would be this year. Washington Wizards, Utah Jazz, the Memphis Grizzlies, and the Chicago Bulls have the top 4 picks coming up next month in the 2026 NBA draft. And the general consensus is top 4 guys. AJ DeBonsta, Darren Peterson, Caleb Wilson, and Cam Boozer. Now, again, if you were the Chicago Bulls GM, and again, a lot of it's out of your control, right? Because there's 3 teams picking in front of you. Let's just say, if you could actually handpick any of those 4 prospects, who would it be? That's my first question. And then I'll ask you the Wilson versus Boozer debate after that, because that's what it's most likely going to come down to.
Okay, so if I could handpick any of the prospects, I would take DeBonsta. I think AJ DeBonsta I would just go with the upside, the potential that he has, and he fits more cleanly with the roster, I think, on what you would envision it being than some of the other players. I'm not the biggest Darren Peterson fan. I also really like Darius Acuff, the Arkansas point guard. But I would go DeBonsta number 1.
Can't wait for the Kings to ruin him.
DeBonsta number 1 would be this is essentially what you're asking, who would you take number 1, right? Yeah. So DeBonsta would be my number 1 pick. And that has not changed for most of the year for me.
I think DeBonsta, I agree with you. I think DeBonsta has the highest ceiling. And look, for me, where there's smoke, there's fire. And to me, Darren Peterson reeks a lot of Ace Bailey type of stuff from last year, where we saw Ace Bailey, and that was much more manipulation of trying to force his way into a current situation where Darren Peterson, that has not been the case. And I don't want to throw this on any young kid or anything like that because it's a very powerful word, but how he managed his freshman season at Kansas, especially with the legendary coach such as Bill Self, despite recent years with Bill Self hasn't been all rainbows and sunshine at Kansas. there's been a level of entitlement with Darren Peterson and how he handled his freshman season. There is no reason that any freshman, let alone any age of a collegiate player, should ever be able to call and handle his own minutes and be able to call and handle his own situation. Because if that's the case, got to take yourself into a different route. But I think that's going to hurt his draft stock a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if Peterson fell to 3 or 4 because of something like what he did last year. Now, in terms of the talent, he's definitely a first overall talent.
Very talented.
But I think DeBonsa, the kid's 6'9". Now, he does have to continue to develop his outside shot a little bit more, but the guy athletically is an absolute freak. I can't really think of too many great comparisons for him because he is the mold of what a lot of NBA GMs salivate over. Ball handling, 6'9", versatile, can guard really the 1 through 4 coming into the NBA, I think. And he's very intelligent, too. He had the highest usage rate for any Division I player in the country at BYU, because I know that they lost a player early on in the season. I can't think of his name. I think it was their starting point guard.
No, it was Richie Saunders.
Richie Saunders, thank you, that they ended up losing. So after that, his usage skyrocketed. So I agree with you. I would take DeBonsa. Now, here's the next thing with you, and this is where I think we might differ. Now, realistically, for the Bulls at 4, if it falls to Caleb Wilson or, Cam Boozer, who would you end up taking in that situation?
So I think, again, this is where you're in the not impossible position, but in the sort of unfamiliar position as a fan or as an outsider looking in, because you haven't interacted with these guys, you haven't talked to them, you haven't seen them kind of work out in the scrimmages and whatnot and envision the plan for them. I think Boozer is Cam Boozer is like the fundamentally sound prospect here who may not turn into a superstar, but will give you consistent production for a long time and be like a very high level center who can still make people around him better, or power forward, whatever he ends up playing.
That's why I made my face.
Yeah, whatever he ends up playing. Front court player.
Else I agree with
whatever he ends up playing. Front court player.
Yeah. Exactly.
And again, like, I don't want to throw, like, again, we throw comparisons on players, and it's like, oh, like, this guy didn't play, or like, you know, he didn't play as well as I thought he would or whatnot. But he reminds me a lot of, like, if you're talking about a ceiling type of guy, like, I think of David West and Cam Boozer.
Wow, that's a great comp.
Like, David West was never a superstar player.
That's an awesome
But he was
comp.
always a very fundamentally sound player on some very good teams.
Career probably at his best in New Orleans, who, by the way, was, you know, talk about his latter years in Golden State, but kids these days, again, prime Chris Paul, Peja Stojakovic, those New Orleans
but
teams.
how about David West with the Pacers, right? They went to several Eastern Conference Finals against them. They ended up running into the Heatles.
He just
so that you know that ends up
16-8, good passer.
Yeah, so that ends up being a problem. But I think Cam Boozer fits into that type of prospect for me.
Wow.
Like a guy who will have a lengthy NBA career, but may not elevate to the superstar level.
Damn, that's way better than my comp. Okay. That's way better.
Now, Caleb Wilson is a guy who could potentially be a star, but could potentially also not be anything. And it sucks because he didn't play at the end of his season at North Carolina. He had some very good moments. He had some very freshman moments, shall we say. It's a very tough proposition. I would probably lean, and honestly, like, the Bulls don't have a choice in this, right? Like, they're gonna end up taking whoever the Grizzlies don't between Boozer and Wilson.
Yeah.
Because we think it's gonna come to that. So I don't think you go wrong with either of them. I would be much more, I think you have to have like a level of, you have to be willing to take the buffer on Wilson potentially not panning out. And Bulls fans, based on what has happened with Patrick Williams, I don't know if they're ready to take that sort of buffer with Caleb Wilson.
Now, okay, I was going to say, I loved how you ended that until that last 5 seconds. Thank you for that. But I will say, again, new regime, different way of approaching things.
Yeah.
And I love what Bryson Graham has already said. He said that we're not going in with any idea of any player. We're going to go through the process. We're going to go through the process, evaluate everything top to bottom, their collegiate seasons, their combine, their interviews, everything top to bottom.
Yeah.
Now, I'll start with I'll start with Cam Boozer because that's who you started with. It's funny because my current comp, David West is a phenomenal comp because Cam Boozer, the one question people have about him at the pro level is his foot speed and his athleticism. How is that going to translate at the pro level? David West, and by the way, a guy like LaMarcus Aldridge, the same way. Now, LaMarcus Aldridge, a different style of player.
Yeah.
But again, questions coming out of Texas, which, by the way, hate to do this, Bulls Nation. Reason why you traded down for Tyrese Thomas at 4 because you were so blown away by Tyrese Thomas's physical attributes that, again, you overshadowed the fire thing at the time, which was LaMarcus Aldridge out of Texas. And in this situation, when you look at Cam Boozer, very underrated passer, by far the best playmaker on that Duke team, which, by the way, if it wasn't for that miracle Mullen shot,
they're playing in the Final Four.
They'd be playing in the Final Four. And again, the best thing about Cam Boozer, the kid is a winner. Yeah. He has won at every single level. He has won for USA Men's 18U and 19U. He has won at the top of the rankings there. He has won every single high school title there is to win in his divisional spot as well. The only thing he didn't win was the collegiate title. So the kid knows how to win, and he comes from a great pedigree, right? Formerly Chicago Bull, Carlos Boozer.
Who is now in the scouting team with the Jazz.
With the Utah Jazz. So maybe
they hold the number 2 pick.
Yeah, well, maybe a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge there. Hey, maybe the Bulls reverse fortunes. Maybe the Utah trades down to 4, and the Bulls trade up to 2. Shocks everybody. But Cam Boozer, my comp, is an active player. Okay. And this guy is on this. He's had a phenomenal career. I was looking at Pascal Siakam.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Pascal Siakam is also another really good comp. Now, Pascal, defensively, very good. At Boozer, I don't know. Again, we don't know about any of these guys as of yet.
Yeah.
But a little bit higher upside defensively. But again, Siakam, a late first-round pick in his draft out of New Mexico State, was looked at as a defensive first prospect who ballooned into a great all-around offensive talent. Now, I think Boozer is going to fall out of bed, even in his freshman season, if he's given the minutes by whoever the Bulls coaches and staff is going to be. And will give you about maybe, let's just say on the low side, 14-7, for his rookie season, and contribute really, really well. Now, for the higher floor guy for sure. Now, for Caleb Wilson, I agree with you. He's the higher ceiling player. But for Caleb Wilson, despite him not playing in the NCAA tournament because of end of the season injury, the Bulls ownership, they love Carolina guys. Kobe White, MJ, there's a lot of great lineage of Carolina picks there.
Okay, fair enough.
There's a lot of Carolina connections in that organization from the very, very top, despite different ownership throughout, or front office stuff throughout the years. But Caleb Wilson, I love Caleb Wilson. If I was the Bulls and I was picking third and I could choose between the two, a week ago I had Caleb Wilson, but now I want the safe pick. I want the high floor guy in Cam Boozer. That's who I would take if I had my gripe. Just because Caleb Wilson, again, he is a much more raw prospect.
Yeah.
I think he has the better all-around tools. Jump out of the gym. He still has to work on his outside game. Keep in mind, Cam Boozer, 39% shooter at Duke. Not the prettiest shot in the world, but the guy can stroke
effective.
it. He's a 3-level scorer.
Effective.
He's a better playmaker on the surface than Wilson. He's a much more developed prospect.
Yeah.
He is a little bit older, despite them both being freshmen. But at the same time, I don't know. There's something about Cam Boozer that, to me, he feels like a guy that's going to have a 15-year career, maybe like an Al Horford.
Yeah.
A guy that's never going to be the greatest player on a championship team.
Sure.
But he'll be a contributor to a winning environment.
Yeah.
You throw him with Modest Buzelis. You throw him with Josh Giddey, who love to get out and run, right? And I think that could be a really fun nucleus.
Yeah, it could be. It's going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out for the Bulls, who really, obviously, getting up to 4 is awesome. Who really don't have much of a choice in the matter unless they were to move up again.
Yeah.
So that's I think very fair for the Bulls. I'm more interested to see what they will do with the number 15 pick that they have in the draft, because there's a lot of prospects in that range that come with some unknowns, and that will be the prospect that I think truly determines like how good the scouting infrastructure and the preparation infrastructure will be for this new regime. Like, what did they do at 15? Who is that player, and how does that player pan out for the Bulls? That'll be a big question mark or that'll be probably how I would better evaluate the front office or the new regime that has come in.
Well, if you guys are just hopping in here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, welcome into the Bulls Talking Hour for what we got. Now, we've done a jersey, a Boomer Bucks double, a
It was not
Practice squad
completely
quad.
unprompted because we have Tony Kukoc in the middle of the table.
Of course. I'm never going to shy away from Bulls talk. We will never shy away from Bulls talk. But to put a final bow on this, I really did like your point that no matter what at 4, the Bulls should be getting a player that is going to help change the trajectory of their organization going forward. So really looking forward to a Bulls season.
On your second question that you had with the LeBron and Jeannie Buss and the statue, she obviously can't comment because he's still an active player. They have some things to sort out this summer in terms of what LeBron is going to do. The Lakers historically, and LeBron does not necessarily have the tenure that some of the other great Laker players had, but Shaq got a statue, and Shaq has played for so many other organizations, and Shaq only played with the Lakers for 8 seasons, I believe. So
same as LeBron, yeah.
So LeBron is gonna hit that number if he plays for a couple more seasons.
It's pretty crazy that LeBron's played 8 years.
Yeah,
for
so
the
he's
Lakers.
already
pretty crazy.
That's his long. If you take away his second Cleveland tenure, this is his longest stretch for a team, right? Because he left Cleveland to go to Miami, then came back to Cleveland. But if you take away that second Cleveland stretch, this is the longest tenure stretch for him. So the Lakers have historically treated their superstar players well.
Yeah.
And that's why they continue to attract superstar players. And so I would not at all be surprised if LeBron James not only gets a statue, but also has his number retired with the Lakers because he won a championship with them.
Yeah, of course. And again, once the expectations that you get once you go to Los Angeles, it's championship or bust.
Yeah.
And that, by the way, guess what? Torch, Luka Dončić, you're on the clock. Now, I know that roster is very, very far away from that, but guess what, buddy? It's on the clock.
We'll see how far away they are. I think they're a lot closer than some people believe. But again, we got to make sure. You got to make sure that you nail some picks and you re-sign some guys that need to be re-signed.
I think the perfect comparison to this, right? It's the same situation. I mean, honestly, it's almost a carbon copy of Kobe and Shaq.
Yeah.
Where, again, Shaq, when he went to Miami, now, of course, he ended up getting a championship with Dwayne Wade as clearly the second best player, but he no longer was the ultra-dominant figure he was in Los Angeles. Once LeBron, whether he signs another 1-year deal and he stays around for another year with Luka, or they decide to re-sign Austin Reeves, which, by the way, we get Austin Reeves into hidden gems here from time to time. He, to me, is the biggest question mark this summer, because in the playoffs, AR hasn't been firing on all cylinders. He is not a playoff riser juxtaposed to what he has done the last 2 regular seasons. So are you going to be okay if you're Jeannie Buss, Rob Pelinka, and the Lakers committing when, again, salary cap management now more than ever is impervious in the NBA to building a championship team? So are you okay with taking so much of your cap space for 2 guys in Luka Dončić and Austin Reeves? You know Luka is going to be the centerpiece, which he definitely needs to be. But that's going to be the biggest question this summer. Now, for the statue aspect of it for LeBron James, I think it's definite. Now, I would go as far as to say, and again, I'm not the biggest LeBron guy out there, and I mean, I love LeBron James. I do. I think the NBA for the last 20 years could not have had a better person represent the sport. A guy with the Sports Illustrated cover, comes out of high school, dubbed as the chosen one, and not only does he live up to expectations, he surpasses them. Might be the greatest person to ever pick up a basketball. Now, with that being said, he should have 3 separate
Those
statues.
are fighting words around these parts.
Yeah, I know, and I'm not a believer of that, but he, without a doubt, you could argue that.
You
no
can
doubt
argue
about it. And I think he should have 3 statues. Miami, Cleveland, and Los Angeles. He's got to have one in all 3.
Yeah.
I know Pat Riley. And again, you know where Pat Riley falls on the side of it? The Miami Heat have 23 retired because of Michael Jordan. So that kind of shows you where with Pat Riley, it's like, are you sure are we gonna give a statue to LeBron outside of here? We'll see what they do, but Cleveland's a slam dunk.
Cleveland's a slam dunk.
But again, Los Angeles, I think they will.
I think it's pretty confident that Los Angeles will have one.
But it's like, damn, like how, like we're running out of room here, guys. You know, we got Kareem, we got Magic, we got Kobe.
We'll make more room.
We gotta make more room. Make more room for the King. And guess what? We got King Henry up here as well. Derrick Henry, he has been one of our top photoed headliners. I mean, joining a awesome table. So speaking of photoed headliners that we got in this show alone, the Connor Bedard Funko, the DeMarcus Ware Authentic, the Derrick Henry alternate Authentic, and then Tony Kukoc, a hidden gem. So we'll get you guys back into the break page here. I'll drop a link for you guys right now. Get you folks back in. 15 people listen to our ramblings. Thank you, guys.
4 to go in that diamond single,
Okay.
which is what we were talking about, potentially closing out. And that Justin Jefferson Speed Flex is still available there. That has not been the custom Speed Flex in the Boomer Bucks has not been pulled, but that Justin Jefferson Speed Flex in the Diamonds is still available.
Very nice catch, my friend. So we'll start there, and I know that Schoolboy Doug was talking about. Let's start to get our focus on that Diamond Single or Cash and Stash Double. I'll bring myself around to both of those, but 2 headliners and just 4 boxes left. To me, this is shocking, bro. I'll be honest. 4 boxes left, and you got a rivalry authentic for James Cook, the NFL's leading rusher. And the year prior, well, he didn't lead the league in rushing, but he led the league in touchdowns. Yeah. This guy is the most slept-on star because, again, Superman and Josh Allen, he garners all the headlines in Buffalo. But I'm just saying, this, Josh Allen is the heart of the Buffalo Bills offense. James Cook's got to be the soul. Yeah. Because, Buffalo had the best running attack last year in the NFL because of this guy right here. That's why their offense was so dynamic. Because, again, you're not putting up all those points with, again, Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, Dawson Knox, Dalton Kincaid, fine players. Yeah. But, again, no real difference maker in their passing attack. It all circled around James Cook out of the backfield. So having him in these authentic guys, this is an absolute steal in the rivalry. And going back to Chinmay's point, we've already seen what a Jamar Chase looks like on a retro speed flex. Seeing Justin Jefferson, arguably the other best wide receiver in the sport today. I think it's between Chase and Jefferson. Jefferson, by the way, having hopefully, and I pray to God that Kyler Murray is the week 1 starting quarterback, because if he loses out to J.J. McCarthy, I don't know if I can show my face here at UA anymore. It's going to be some really awkward conversations come September if Kyler Murray is the backup to J.J. McCarthy. But if Kyler Murray is healthy and starting, I believe that J.Jet is not only in store for a bounce-back year, to his standards, of course, but a career year. Keep in mind, prior to last season, Chinmay, this guy was the all-time regular season leader in yards per game. Puka Nacua, with the phenomenal year he had, overtook that spot. But Jay Jetta's still at the top of his craft. Again, one of the most marketed players. And again, for only $109, guys, for a speed flex, that's well over a 4-digit price point for a retro speed flex. So that's one point to talk about there. Now, we are talking about the cash or stash double. So we're 5 to go in the single. Also 5 to go in that double. And I'm in lockstep with Doug here. You got the obvious double, Nacua and Kyron Williams. Again, guys, only 8 boxes to go. So a very realistic possibility that we can close that out. And again, here's the other opportunity. Let's say whoever gets that NFC West spot, right? Hypothetically, let's say you already have a Nacua and Williams at home, or you're a Cardinals, Niners, or Seahawks fan. Ew, don't send me any LA Rams to my house. Okay, fine. Well, guess what? Cash or Stash series, baby. This is where this is really, really fun. And it's such a popular series, we've made it a part of our every Tuesday rotation for you guys here at Ultimate Autographs. A $700 value. We even upped it from $600. And what if the Kyron Williams is an authentic? Well, guess what? That's an extra $400. Yeah. That's $1,100 that you can get for a $208 buy-in, guys. And that's, again, in case you don't want the helmet. Maybe you want to keep one and trade in the other. You want to send back Kyron and get $400, but you want to keep the Nacua? You're still making out looking bad. So, again.
We are now 2 to go in that diamond single.
There you go. Who got that?
Rick bought in a couple spots.
Rick knows what's up, man.
He's feeling good after the Derrick Henry win.
I don't know what Rick does for a living, but something tells me he's a street sweeper because he just be cleaning up everything. Rick just comes in and just cleans up a lot of spots in our breaks that need cleaning up. And it's one thing out there if you're going there and you're playing into a series where it's like there's 5 boxes left, no headliners, and you don't know what you're buying into. Yeah. But this is not the case. We got good ratios, and even the series that don't have the best ratios, like the Cash or Stash, again, you have abilities to get money back on every single helmet you win. So, speaking of good headliners, though, how about 7-Eleven? Kind of like the practice squad, it's always open for business. 56 on the single, 112 on the double, 224 on that quad. Harry has been the king of the practice squad. Harry, by the way, you want that Ocho Cinco, buddy? How about that double? At least get back into the double. Chad Johnson and Steve Smith, AFC North double up. Yeah. Let's start with the Ocho Cinco, man. LOL, Street Sweeper is a good one. Street Sweeper, Break Sweeper. I was going to say Custodian. I have all love for custodians in the world, but, Rick, I'm sure you're above that pay grade, my friend. Looking forward to getting into that diamond single soon, guys. Just 2 more spots to go. But transitioning here into this Chad Johnson Speed Flex. Great jet black visor. The alternate, the white stripes. I can't call it the white stripes, but I'm trying to make a little, a little transition into one of my favorite indie alt bands into the White Stripes. I was actually listening to them on the way in today. One of my favorite players growing up, definitely a part of a guy of our generation.
Yeah.
Kind of like this guy too. How about a former Triple Crown winner in Steve Smith on the Eclipse? We already saw a red-eyed Raven here on the table in this show in Derrick Henry. Let's get another Raven on the table. What do we got there?
Got a couple spots in that Boomer Bucks single. So we are 5 to go.
Nice.
In that Boomer Bucks single, we are also 5 to go in that Boomer Bucks quad.
Boom or bust quad. Let's get it. Let's get it, guys. Also, speaking of double ups, hey, there's Kyron Williams again. Good to see you, Kyron, back in the secondary headliners. You could double up him with, honestly, one of the most underrated wide receivers of all time, Isaac Bruce. Isaac Bruce, a part of an all-time great offense, of course, the greatest show on turf. Marshall Faulk, Kurt Warner, who we also have, by the way, on that retro speed flex in the Weekend Warrior. Is that in the Boomer? It is in the Weekend Warrior.
It's the Weekend Warrior.
It is the Weekend Warrior. Cool. Yeah. We have so many great series up, I lose track. Again, Torrey Holt, so many great. Orlando Pace, even one of the greatest left tackles of all time. Isaac Bruce, really underrated. Great double up there in the NFC West. And how about another potential double up, guys, for 112? I'm about to name you 3 potential double ups in this practice squad. Beautiful H-Town replica helmet for another all-time great wideout in Andre 3000, Andre Johnson. Can I get a hey-ya from you there, Bob, in the chat? A little Andre 3000, a little outcast action for you there. Andre Johnson, 11th all-time in receiving yards. We pulled one of his quarterbacks to close out the last show on Matt Schaub. Show a little AJ some love here in the chat today. And Warren Moon, former MVP quarterback, potentially on a Houston Oilers hit. That is the other side of that double-up. Bob's saying I'm humming Seven Nation Army.
Mm-hmm.
Bum, 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 bum. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so the Weekend Warrior practice squad's wide open. The jerseys are wide open. The Boomer Bucks. This is my personal favorite series in the room, Chinmay. We got about 27 or so minutes to go, bare minimum time, guys. We got off to a ferocious start. We've kind of slowed things down here a little bit. I don't know if we scared you guys away from the Cam Boozer and Caleb Wilson debate. But again, 12, this is freaking nuts. 12 headliners and 19 boxes.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the kicker with this. 2 of these headliners, being Teterow McMillan and Walt Frazier, are going to get you $100.
Yeah, you're going to get the store credit anyway.
And the other 7 hidden gems are going to get you $100.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter what, y'all are going to be winning as long as you obviously end up in that winning division. But let's talk about maybe some of the potential double ups and see if there's any left out of these photoed headliners. So 5 in the quad, 5 in the single, 7 in the double. Again, great price points all across the board. Drew Brees custom speed flex. Second most passing touchdowns, second most passing yards. The most underrated quarterback in NFL history. For whatever reason, this guy was ousted from San Diego, got outperformed by a 40-year-old Doug Flutie early in his career. They decided to really not give Drew Brees a fair enough chance because they're like, you know what, this kid Phillip Rivers looks pretty good. And hey, that wasn't necessarily a bad call. Phillip Rivers, great career.
Yeah, and Brees had the bad shoulder injury, so there were some concerns for sure.
Definitely some concerns. And again, he fell into the laps of a franchise that was in need of saving. Yeah, for sure, to say the least. A guy that went down to the down by the bayou, brought them their one and only Super Bowl in franchise history. One of my favorite stats here at UA. Shout out to Common for this. The Saints have 10 playoff wins in their franchise's history. Drew Brees responsible for 9 of them as their starting quarterbacks. So him and Aaron Rodgers, to me, are 2 of the quarterbacks in NFL history, to me, who I truthfully believe deserve more rings than what they got from their career production. 2 guys who played in the exact same time period that, again, they couldn't play defense. They really did not have, for their primes of their careers, they did not have upper echelon defenses that could contribute, especially when it mattered most.
The Saints, forget about upper echelon. I think the Saints the Saints consistently ranked in the bottom 5 in defense. Yeah. In pretty much all of Brees' seasons.
Yeah. There's only some. Okay, I don't want to disrespect any Saints fans out there, but I was going to say there's only so much ass you can carry, Drew. And again, I always say that because I really have an admiration for Drew Brees. For me, as a Look, I top out at 5'8 3/4, 5'9" as a smaller fellow, and I knew I was never going to have great genetic material. Sorry, mom and dad, but me growing up and playing baseball, I knew that my athletic ability was not going to be determined based on my size. I wasn't going to grow into any physical great attributes. So I actually grew up watching Drew Brees as a guy that I idolized because at 6 feet tall, he was a guy that dominated the sport for quite a long time. And it's such a physical, demanding sport that's not made for short guys.
Yeah.
We've seen very, very undersized quarterbacks dominate. Russell Wilson, Drew Brees, obviously Doug Flutie had a very long career. Kyler Murray.
To a certain extent, Kyler Murray has performed very well.
Yeah. Yes, performed very well. So, maybe not as well as these two guys, though. Joe Montana and Dan Marino.
You can say that again.
Dan Marino, arguably the greatest quarterback season of all time, a 1984 Super Bowl appearance and MVP all in the same year. And, of course, Joe Cool, arguably two of the best Super Bowl runs in 1988 and 1989 for the San Francisco 49ers. When you close your eyes and you think of these two franchises, the two faces that should appear first are Montana and Marino. Make no mistake about it. Max Scherzer. When you close your eyes and you think of the Texas Rangers, you probably shouldn't think of Max Scherzer, but guess what? He helped contribute to their first and only World Series in franchise history. Now, which is crazy because despite them building a $1 billion infield, essentially, signing Corey Seager and Marcus Semien, which were obviously the two biggest cogs, trading for Max Scherzer at the trade deadline of 2023 really helped push them over the edge. 3-time Cy Young Award winner, 2-time World Series champion, and a guy who's going to be a future first ballot Hall of Famer.
And that Rangers team actually, obviously Corey Seager and Semien, very pivotal pieces to that for sure. But some of the guys that were sort of unheralded, I guess, were some of the peripheral players who really stepped up. Adolis Garcia was the one who in the postseason really showed out.
Did we have him on our show last week on a bat?
We've had Corey Seager. We've had Seager on our Rangers for sure.
So that was definitely that must have been Sunday morning with Steven and I. Because I pulled in Adolis Garcia on a Phillies bat last week.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, but Garcia, 100%. I forget if Jock Pearson was on that team in 23.
Jock was on that team, yes.
In 23. Huge contributor. Always in the postseason, Jock Pearson.
Yeah.
Always in the postseason. By the way, his brother, Tiger, an interesting guy. I've actually hung out with Tiger a couple of times in my broadcasting days. Very interesting guy. Used to manage a team in the league that I was in. Rick said, I traded my Breeze for a Joe Montana in the room, so I wouldn't mind getting him underrated. Rick, looking out for you, my friend. Again, I would love to at least do another break or two before we say sayonara. At least I say sayonara. Chinmay is going to be back for you guys at the 3 o'clock hour. Standing on the producer side with Mr. Camelucci, the Italian stallion, going to walk into the room. Speaking of walking into the room, I'd love to see this guy as well. A guy that just continues to define father time, him and his legendary teammate in Sidney Crosby. How about Evgeny Malkin? The first overall selection in the 2004 NHL draft. Still kicking at the ripe age of 40-plus years of age.
Yeah.
A Stanley Cup champion. A laundry list of accomplishments. I know he was a former Rookie of the Year winner as well. I apologize. I'm not Bob Boulay when it comes to hockey knowledge. But I do know Evgeny Malkin is an absolute legend.
Three-time
Stanley Cup champion.
Yep, yeah. He was there for all of Pittsburgh.
I know he won at least one.
Yeah.
What years did he win those?
So they won back-to-back in 16 and 17, but then the first one that they won was in 2009.
In 2009.
Yeah.
Same as Drew Brees. So there you go. How about that? Mookie Betts on the batting helmet, and I'm saying this without having the randomizer on. Mookie Betts on the batting helmet. Don't talk to Boston Red Sox fans about Mookie Betts. They are still in mourning about this trade. Jesus, 6 years later about Mookie Betts? A guy that helped contribute to back-to-back World Series titles in Tinseltown out in the City of Angels in Los Angeles. He won one, obviously, in 2018 with the Boston Red Sox. You want to talk about short kings? 5'9".
Yeah.
Going to go down as one of the best versatile players of the modern era. Obviously an outfielder by trade. Last couple of years has been a shortstop and second baseman for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Just came off the IL a couple of days ago for the Dodgers. This guy is the truth and a half. Mookie Betts, man. A former MVP, I believe, Mookie Betts as well for the Red Sox.
Yep, AL MVP and a 4-time World Series champion.
Unbelievable career. Kind of like this guy we already talked about, Justin Jefferson, beautiful custom speed flex. I know I was talking about this yesterday with Daniel Gady, big Vikings fan. And we haven't seen Daniel Gady today, probably because he, oh boy, he was at the Wolves game yesterday.
And that's a tough one.
Daniel, we're going to need to send out a APB for Daniel. Weird Al Yankovic on the electric guitar with the white and nerdy inscription. One of the most unique items we have seen here in the break room. We get musicians from time to time that on an electric guitar, that takes the cake. Weird Al, if you were born in the 70s, 80s, or 90s, you know of Weird Al. You might not be familiar with his music. One of truly the oddest figures in the music business, but certainly a pioneer to say the least. How about the greatest goaltender in NHL history? We got him in the room. Martin Brodeur on the custom replica hockey mask for the New Jersey Devils. The Devils haven't been super successful since Brodeur has retired now over, God, I thought, when did Martin Brodeur retire? Probably over 20 years ago now at this point, right? Probably in the mid-2000s, late 2000s.
It's close. 2015.
Damn, he played 2015?
Yeah, I was going to say he played from 91 to 15.
Holy shit.
So more than 20 years.
Dude, oh my God.
But he also played for he was a part-time player basically after 2011, 12. So he didn't play as much the last 3 or 4 years of his career.
So a goalie coach. A goalie coach.
Yeah, pretty much.
A goalie coach.
But 3-time Stanley Cup champion.
No, Brodeur, again, widely regarded, I know, as the greatest goaltender of all time. So make no mistake about that. Now, Mr. Twin, I know you can talk about Kirby Puckett. Certainly in that conversation, Rod Carew, obviously. But Harmon Killebrew, the all-time franchise leader in home runs, one of the most underrated sluggers in MLB history. If you don't believe me, you got to believe Baseball Reference, because I might lie, but the stats definitely do not. A career 60 WAR for my stat heads out there. A former MVP, and how about this? Did not realize Chinmay for the late, great Harmon Killebrew, and a 13-time All-Star. 13-time All-Star. He has a career 573 home runs. He led the league in home runs on 6 separate occasions.
Crazy stuff.
Very, very great career. And he was a Minnesota player, which by the way, keep in mind, they used to be known as the Washington Senators before moving to the great city of Minneapolis in 1961. Awesome stuff, man. Wow. A 22-year career for the Twins and Senators. Very, very cool. Let's roll the dice for Justin. All right, that sounds good to me. What did Rick get anything?
Rick has closed out the Diamond Single, so we will do the Diamond Single.
Love it, Rick.
Coming up here.
Gotcha. Todd Helton, by the way, the greatest Rocky of all time. Hall of Fame 24 inscription. Fun fact about that shit, man. I don't know if I told you this about Todd Helton. So my dad's childhood best friend, shout out to Bill, love me some Bill. He has season tickets for the Colorado Rockies.
Okay.
And just out of literally happenstance, we didn't know this when we flew out there, but we were in Colorado in the summer of 24. And I saw the White Sox play the Rockies out there. Mm-hmm. Nobody would ever pay money for that outside of me and my dad. And it was Todd Helton's jersey retirement that weekend. So they were giving out these really cool Todd Helton vests. It was awesome, and it was a really cool ceremony. Really, really cool stuff. Greatest Rocky of all time. All right, so we got a number coming up here in this Diamond Single.
And I'm just going to monitor the break page here real quick.
Okay.
And just want to know. Okay, so there's 6 spots left in this Diamond Double, right? 6 spots left in this Diamond Double. If either James Cook or Justin Jefferson does not come out in this single box, I would immediately jump into that Diamond Double, because no matter what, at least one of them will come out in that double, assuming this single is not one of those headliners.
It's a good call. So you heard the man. So we got 6, 20, 21, and 25. And again, hey, 50% chance of James Cook or Justin Jefferson. Yeah. That is what you call worth rolling the dice. Now let's see if Rick gets rewarded. He owns half the break. He said, watch your mouth, roll the wheel. Well, I can't roll the wheel, Rick, but I can't spin it for you.
Yeah, you gotta spin the wheel.
Gotta spin that bad boy for you. So let's see what we got here. We also got Jeanette Lee, Douglas Skolberg, and Timothy Boulay. Good to see Timothy. Haven't seen Timothy in a while. All right, so let's see what we got here. You know what? I'm going to do the picker wheel for this one because we only got 4 numbers. What numbers did I say again? Crap baskets. 6, 20, 21, 25.
Yep.
6, 20, 21, and 25. Oh, wait, what did I just do? No. Wait, 2, 21. Wait, what the? 6. My bad, guys. Sorry, give me 1 second here. Technical difficulties on the wheel. All right, cool. So it's 6, 20, 21, 25. Just want to make sure. Okay. Picker wheel time. Here we go. Is Fate going to give Justin Jefferson to my man Rick? Well, let's see what box 6 has in store. Box 6, so we have 20, 21, and 25 left, correct?
Yep.
Thank you. We're going to go 11 times around. Thank you. 147 here in the break room on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Chinmay and Route taking care of all your breaking needs. And the one-stop shop for the best sports merchandise in the business, y'all, here at Ultimate Autographs. If you've enjoyed the program so far, again, please make sure to hit that share button. We got that Refer a Friend contest throughout the month of May. You can get rewarded with Reggie Wayne. Also, if you have won merchandise in the show today, send a 60 to 90 second snippet at marketing@ultimateautographs.com. Top 3 gift cards, $50, $100, and $250, also given away at the end of the month for the most creative videos that we get to.
Yeah.
So let's see what we got here. Box 6 for what we got on the diamond. Rick Pickett. Rick, buddy. Uh-oh. Justin Jefferson spot. NFC North. There we go.
He's in the right spot.
NFC West as well with the AFC North and the AFC West. James Cook would go to Timothy Boulay in the AFC East. And then we got Jeanette and John and Douglas all looking for a hidden gem to go their way. So let's see what we got, guys. Good luck, everyone. Better luck to my parlay. Always better luck to my parlay. Let's see what we got here. Again, I would go rushing to that double in case this is not Cook or Jefferson.
Yep. Have those spots ready.
Well, I got news for you guys. You better start loading up those carts. But fate is on Rick's side in the Northern Division, but not of the NFC North. We're going to be taking a trip to the Steel City and saying hello to the RB1 of the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's Jaylen Warren.
Nice.
Very, very nice hit for a breakout year for the Pittsburgh Steelers starting running back. And honestly, I'd say budding star.
Should continue to get work, heavy work in 2026. And you were just talking about Drew Brees and shorter players. Jaylen Warren is another one of those shorter players who looks to be carving out a name for himself in Pittsburgh.
Now, he is a absolute dynamo out of the backfield. The only question is, will he fall to me in fantasy football this year? Absolutely, I love Jaylen Warren, man.
Yeah, that's why you get into auction drafts, so you can target guys like Jaylen Warren.
Smart man, smart man. So, Rick, again, you rolled the dice, and hey, it did pay off in some regards, but I do expect that diamond double to start closing out. You buy multiple spots, you get in the AFC East, you get in the NFC North, you get James Cook and Justin Jefferson. That's a pretty damn good Saturday.
Yeah, I would definitely go after that double because we know that at least one of Cook and Jefferson will come out of that double box.
Very good call, my friend. Yeah, that covered the bet, I think. Yeah, Jaylen Warren for 4 diamond spots. Yeah, I would say that covered the bet for sure.
Yep.
On an authentic helmet, yeah, it definitely covered the bet, Rick. And again, I always like to, especially, look, we always say this about diamonds in this series. All authentic helmets are indeed better in the diamonds. and you have a young, up-and-coming player like that whose value, his stock is up. He is ascending. He's only getting better. And by the way, all due respect for Pittsburgh, whether they retain Aaron Rodgers or whatever their quarterback situation looks like, they don't necessarily have a quarterback that's going to be throwing a ton downfield. Now, it's interesting to see what Mike McCarthy does, utilizing Jalen Warren, but he should be getting a whole lot of touches out of that backfield.
And some of the other, and one of the other things that you kind of look at, the Steelers don't settle for just, barely making the playoffs or sneaking into the wild card spot. It's an organization that competes for championships, has won the most championships. So Jalen Warren is probably, if he keeps playing the way he's playing, probably going to be competing in some very meaningful postseason games, which again adds to the legacy of the player, adds to the potential value of the autograph.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of why, and I'm glad that you mentioned that about the Steelers in itself, because again, the winningest franchise in terms of Super Bowl accumulation in league history. When you look at that franchise in its essence, is that partially why like Mike Tomlin was let go, just because of the postseason futility in recent years? And
could be the case.
And I think that's kind of what the situation is there. And I agree. I think that Jalen Warren, now they're a long ways, in my opinion, from title contention.
Sure.
But having a guy like Jalen Warren is the guy you definitely want to keep around for the next iteration of a title contending team. So with that being said, right now we're pretty, do we get any orders coming in over there?
We did get one order in on the Diamond Double, so that's 5 to go now in that Diamond Double.
So 5 to go in the Diamond Double, and that might actually be the closest that we are to breaking.
We are 5 to go in the Boomer Bucks in the single and the quad. We are also 5 to go in the Cash and Stash single and the Cash and Stash double.
Okay, so with that being said, I'll do this for you guys, because again, we just got a nice influx of viewership that popped up here. We're up to the GOAT number, we're up to the Michael Jordan viewership here. We're 23 lovely people taking the time out of their Saturdays to join us. So we're at about 153 right now. I'll give y'all 3 minutes to get down to 3 spots. I'll give this to 156. If we can get any one of those series to get down to 3 spots, I'll extend the time a little bit further. But if we kind of get to that spot, we're going to start doing hits of the show, chase wheel spin.
We have both wheel spins to do.
Both wheel spins to do, exactly. So we'll start breaking stuff down then, guys.
Yeah.
So, but overall, though, kind of like going back on to your show at the 12 o'clock hosting, really, really good show. If that does indeed end up being the last break, my friends.
Yep,
So.
really strong show. Really some great stuff still in the room, but we got a lot of nice hits out on the table.
Yeah, so I'll go back to the crack the code. We've been at 6 all show long for this. George Kittle. We haven't seen George Kittle in quite a while here in the break room. Got him on a authentic helmet, arguably the best tight end in football. I think he's the second best. But still one of the best tight ends in a recent NFL history. Rob Gronkowski, talk about one of the greatest, on a speed flex. Derrick Henry, we see this exact same guy on the table. There he is. And now you can go after him again here in this crack the code. Micah Parsons, Chinmay's guy on the defensive side of the ball, one of the best edge rushers in the NFL today. Fingers crossed he comes back fully loaded and healthy. Terrible at 2K, though. Deion Sanders on the Dallas Cowboys authentic helmet. And Pocket Hercules secondary headliner in Maurice Jones-Drew. Again, I'll just do another quick rundown for you guys. Give you guys a little bit more time.
We are 4 to go.
Okay.
We have 4 to go in that Diamond Double.
All right, so there you go. Yeah, I would say the Diamond Double, very, very close to the end of that series. Again, James Cook, Justin Jefferson.
We know for sure that Cook or Jefferson will come out of this double.
We
know that for a fact.
That's all you need to hear, guys. That's all you need to hear. And they're not on a standard. We're talking about a rivalry
One's
authentic.
on a speed flex and one's on a rivalry authentic.
On a retro speed flex for Jay Jettas, man.
Yeah.
So it's very, very elite company. Drew Brees custom speed flex. And hey, speaking of Jay Jettas, he's also got a custom speed flex as well in this this gorgeous series of the Boomer Bucks. Joe Montana and Dan Marino 16x20 photo. Max Scherzer 2023 World Series MVP, 2023 World Series champion inscription. Evgeny Malkin sweater. Mookie Betts batting helmet. Weird Al Yankovic electric guitar. Martin Brodeur on the beautifully custom designed replica hockey mask. Harmon Killebrew bat and the Todd Helton replica batting helmet. 12 headliners, 19 boxes. Again, you got $100 for any secondary headliner which would be Walt Frazier and Tedero McMillan, or any hidden gem in that series. Stash or cash? Well, you definitely, if you want money back for any items in that series, that's the one you go into. Any item one, you're going to possibly have an offer to get you guys some money back in UA Store credit if you so choose so. Like Puka Nacua, worth $700 to give back if you end up winning this item in store credit. And Kyron Williams could either be worth $400 or $300 in that secondary headliner. What do we got there?
That was in the, I believe it was in the stash or cash. Oh no, Boomer Bust.
Okay.
Boomer Bucks.
Okay. So we're on a 4 in that now.
Four
as well?
in the single. But so that's a wheel spin. So the Boomer Bucks is a wheel spin. So if you are interested in the Boomer Bucks, I would get in there now because that is a wheel spin for this show.
Kind of like this series as well, the Mother's Day Weekend Warrior. We got 2 separate chase wheel spins to do in each, guys. Shout out to y'all for that. 8 headliners, 13 boxes, Chinmay. TJ Watt, Kurt Warner, Joe Montana double up right there. Jamar Chase custom, Roger Staubach, authentic, and Julio Jones. With the Tom Brady, we still have 3 or 5 entries in that Tom Brady for the custom Speed Flex Mother's Day custom. Again, a helmet worth probably, I would guess, at least a $5,000 or so value. We talked about this diamond. This may be the last and final break we do here for the 12 o'clock hour. We shall see. Justin Jefferson Retro Speed Flex and the James Cook Rivalry authentic. Like Chinmay said, we close out that double. We are guaranteed either Jefferson or Cook coming up, guys. So practice squad is wide open. Same with those jerseys. And hey, you know, we started to see a little bit of movement. But then again, I did give us the 3 minutes. I actually went up to 5 for you guys with that brief rundown. So I'm going to start breaking things down. Now, naturally, if one of the breaks happen, of course, we'll end up doing the break for you guys. But now it's got a break for us to keep things going. So with that being said, let's do the chase wheel spins first. Let's do the chase wheel spins first, and then we'll end up doing
those lists are ready for you.
Beautiful. Well, there's no figment of the imagination here on who's. Oh, never mind. I don't know why I thought the Weekend Warrior was all just one person.
Nope, it's not.
It is definitely not. So, but let's see here. Who's going to be victorious in this first chase wheel spin? So we're going 11 times around. This is a top spot draw for our first winner. Let's see what we got. 10 times around, Jill Labovitz is on top. Will she stay or will she go? The 11th spin around is going to put Chris Kohler. Chris Kohler is going to win some chase wheel spin money back, Chinmay, for his chase wheel spin. And while we let Chris have a little bit of time there, hits of the show, we can talk about those now. So hits of the show, we got some great stuff, my guy. We got the Connor Bedard Funko Pop, the DeMarcus Ware Authentic, the Tony Kukoc Basketball, and the Derrick Henry with what we got here on this beautiful alternate authentic.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting because there's some Chicago elements of this that I don't want to, pass up. I'm going to say just, again, love the player. Think he's going to do phenomenal things. But at the end of the day, it's not a hockey stick. It's not a hockey puck. So I'm going to go with Connor Bedard at 4 on the Funko. I'm going to go with DeMarcus Ware at 3 on the authentic. I'm going to go Tony at 2 on the basketball. I'm going to go King Henry at 1 on the purple authentic.
Only thing I'll switch on my list, I'll switch Bedsy and DeMarcus Ware at 3, 4.
All right.
But I'll keep Tony at 2. We really wanted to put him at 1. Maybe if he would have got us one more championship, I would have thought about it. And then Derrick Henry, of course, has got to be number 1. The beautiful gold ink. Absolutely gorgeous lid right there. Chris, buddy, haven't heard from you at all, my man, so I'm going to start you on the number 1. You'll be our first of 2 winners. And then we got that boom or bucks list. A little bit lengthier on that one coming up. So let's see, start at the number 1. Good luck to you, CK. And what do we got for him today? Not on the higher side, but you know what they say. Don't look a gift wheel in the mouth. 28.
Okay.
28 doll hairs going in the direction of Chris Kohler. And then we are going to have our second list here. And then after we wait for the potential number call of this winner, Chinmay, we'll get final thoughts. And then I'll send it off to our final winner. So 16 names. Shout out to y'all for getting 2 chase wheel spins in, by the way. Shows how much butt we kicked in this show. 10 times around, we're looking for number 11. Matthew Dimmitt is on top. Will he stay or will he go? He is passing the baton to absolutely bleeping nobody. He is going to stay in that number 1 spot. Fate was on his side. Matthew, if you're still out there, feel free to let me know if you want the wheel to be on a particular number. If not, I'll also spin it from the number 1. And while we give Matthew a little bit of time, Chinmay, final thoughts on the show today, my friend.
Been a phenomenal show. Excited to host the 9 a.m. and then sit on this side for the noon show. Talking basketball, Game 7s, future conference series, and maybe a hypothetical scenario where we are managing the Bulls one day. But it's been a good show. Some good Chicago memorabilia. Great King Henry authentic helmet there. So pretty good stuff for this noon show, and we'll see if we can keep it rolling here at 3 p.m.
Yeah, man, always fun with you. Always fun talking hoops with you, my friend. And maybe a month from now we can come back and clip the show and see if any of our analysis has come true and see if any of that happens. So haven't heard anything from Matthew. I'll give my final thoughts after I spin this. So yeah, 28 go to Chris Kohler. Will Matthew top that number? And yes, he will. He is going to be landing 60 right on the nose. So Matthew Dimmitt 60 in Chase wheel spin cash. Rick says thank you. No, Rick, buddy, thank you so much, man. You are a huge cog of this show. Same with everybody else out there on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Always a huge part of the program and the Ultimate Autographs family. Said this at the beginning of the show. Always going to say it at the end of the show. If you happen to enjoy this 12 o'clock edition, you're going to enjoy it that much more with this guy and Rip Camelucci coming up at the 3 o'clock hour. We're also live tonight for the 6 o'clock primetime show. Uncle Joe.
The Hall of Famer.
The Hall of Famer. Uncle Joe Aguilar recently celebrated a birthday, so make sure to drop some happy birthdays in the chat if you haven't done so. Last Saturday for our guy J.A. and Rip will be producing for him. And now we got the late night. We got the 10:30 show as well for the boys of the evening, which should be Hayden and Tim, I believe. So we got the Hey Tim show going on at 10:30. Again, make sure to share, like, and drop that notification bell. So I'm saying sayonara until 9, 12, and 3 tomorrow. I'll be back with Stephen Ryan, and then I have my new confidant with me and Tim Shaw.
Okay.
Alex moved up inside the company ranks. So he moved out of the studio and is doing some great things behind the scenes for us here at UA. So Tim will be the regular at 12 and 3 going forward.
Very cool.
Again, man, always fun working with you.
Yeah.
Shout out to you guys at home. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. We'll be back here in less than an hour. Don't talk to strangers. Eat your vegetables and enjoy the rest.